Am I live now? I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. Is YouTube just... Huh? YouTube is just messing up. Oh, okay, it says I'm live. There we go, I'm live, okay. Alright. Let me just, let me tweet out this stream. And I'll just send it to Discord. So just give me a sec. Bear with me. Alright, let's send this to the Discord. Live reacting to comments. We'll send this to... Yeah, we'll send it here as well. Okay, and now I'm gonna just tweet out the stream. I am live reacting to comments. Okay. Let me take a look at the chat. What's up, Bubbly Production? How you doing? So I'm just gonna get right into it. Basically, I made a video yesterday. Well, I made it 2 days ago. By the way, something that sticks out to me is this dislike number is not correct. This video actually had like 40 dislikes, which is it's pretty crazy, but I don't know why it says 17. It's actually more than that. But a lot of people didn't like it. What's up? I don't want to mispronounce the name, but is it Raul? I don't want to mispronounce it, but what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. Basically, I made this video yesterday, and it was about the fall update for Wiz, and why I basically just don't like the fall update. And I was very passionate in the video, and the reason I was very passionate is mostly because of the bazaar. A lot of the passion, I guess, for why I was upset about the change to the bazaar bled in to some of the other changes, I guess. So, like, for example, Selenopolis. A lot of people had issue with what I was saying about the world of Selenopolis. But really, why is the quality so bad on this? Quality's terrible. Okay, whatever. But really, my opinion on Selenopolis, like my concern about it, is actually the least of the update. Like, I don't really mind that Selenopolis is like there's not much incentive. Like it's not like I'm like there needs to be incentive now or this update sucks. No, well, the reason why the update sucks is because of the bazaar. It's because they've really fumbled with spell fusion and art and magic weaving. That's why. It's not because Selenopolis doesn't have incentive. But I think a lot of people took it that way because I was passionate throughout the video, and I'm glad I was passionate throughout the video. And a lot of people also had a problem with me like just rambling, I guess, in the video, which is fine. I honestly, I wish I did script it, but I wanted to get a video out because I had been planning videos on everything, and they say a jack of all trades is a master of none. So I just wanted to get a video out on everything, and I was like, I'm just gonna take what I wrote in every script and put it in one video. And I think that may have overwhelmed some people, or it may have seemed like I wasn't really coherent or articulate in my points, which is understandable. That's understandable. I was a fine complaint about the video. I think that I could have definitely scripted it better. Hi Lawrence, how you doing? I'm 50-50 with the update. I'm glad we're having so much changes and new approaches, but then the other side is like more chaos, limited spells even from your own school, and then yeah, that's and again I saw this comment yesterday and I was like, do you have any positives? And they're right. I should have said some positives that I had about the update. I really should have, because I do really like some things in the update. There are some really good things. Like, I'm not, every update has their ups and downs, right? And another thing people had a lot of issue with is the title, Wizard101 worst update ever, or the worst update ever, question mark, question mark, question mark. Which is, again, it is a rage baity title. I have done rage bait on my channel before. I'm not new to it. Let me just go to one of my other videos or live streams, I guess, that I did. Let's take a look. The most recent live stream I did, Wizard101 YouTubers rank every world. I literally put Avalon, Polaris, and F tier as Tetra Chrysalis, two of the most hated worlds in S. I do rage bait all the time. It's to get views. It's to get my video out there. And I know that maybe it's a little disingenuous, because obviously I don't think this is the worst update ever by any means. It's not the worst update ever. There are worse updates out there, right? But I do think it's a bad update, and I do think that it needs some work. So that's why I titled it that way. It's so that people can actually hear my complaints. People actually understand what's going on. And there's been a lot of glazing in the community of this update. There's been a lot of people that have said this is an amazing update. And a lot of content creators do. It's not just like people in the community. A lot of content creators do think this is a good update. So I wanted to just get my opinion out there that I don't like things about this update, and I think it needs to change. And I do think I may have struck a nerve with a lot of people, because a lot of people do like this update. And I understand why. There are some really good things in this update, and there are some really good concepts of things that they're doing. Like, I think spell fusion is a great concept. I think that the people that are working on it can. I think it was an incredible idea. I think he did incredible with his idea on it. I just don't think it was implemented very well. I think that Rapbeard, I'm sure he had a hand in spell fusion and magic weaving. It's a fantastic idea. It's incredible, and that's why I think people like this update. They're like, spell fusion is the coolest thing I've heard of in Wiz, and it really is. It is one of the coolest things ever. And I feel like I should have talked about that in the video, like talked about positives. And usually when I make these critique videos, I do talk about positives that I have with the updates, or I do. This video, I just wanted to just get all my thoughts into one, and I didn't want it to go longer. It was already a 20-minute video, so I didn't really want it to go for super long. But yeah, I should have done positive. So those are some of the critiques I'm okay with. But we're going to react to comments. Not going to lie, that title is Rage Bait Lil, specifically, or especially, excuse me, when most, if not all, content creators before this video came out were positive. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was to just basically get my video out there, and so people know that this update isn't just, sunshine and rainbows. It isn't just an amazing update. There are some problems with it that need to be fixed, and I hope that they are fixed. Okay, so let's get into some of the comments here. I'm gonna go. Is there like a way I can sort by oldest? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna go from the top to the bottom. So this first one, do you have any positives that you took from this update? I replied to many comments, but I was like, I'm very glad you asked that. I wish I had talked about this. Blah 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 blah. The mark and recall changes I said, this update did some incredible things. The mark and recall change wasn't even necessary, but it was an amazing QOL change. If they fixed the problems with the bazaar that I addressed, I think the UI change is great. As for crop graphics, I think some areas look a little weird and too smooth, but that's a nitpick. 90% of the graphical changes in areas look incredible. Being able to inspect what's in patches and second chance chests should have been added a long time ago. I think it's great that it's being added now. Spell fusion and Selenopolis, I really do, but there are some problems with how they're implemented, in my opinion. If those are fixed, I think both would be great as well. And that's just generally what I think is good about the update. I think that a lot of these new features, like the pack inspect and the mark and recall changes, are really good. So yeah, I do have a lot of positives, as I said. I saw this comment, which I thought was really stupid, and honestly, I do not know how 9 people liked this comment, but nice alt account that you can immediately reply to. So they think that this is one of my alt accounts, which is just crazy. They think that I made this comment myself, which is, I don't want to open the guy's channel. Actually, I will, but let's see the 5D chess that I'd be having to play to comment this on my own. Let's see. This video was made this channel was made in 2016. In 2016, this channel was made. That's what, 8 years ago. There are videos that are 5 years old, 6 years old. I'm not going to watch any of them, but I'm assuming if there's commentary, it's probably not my voice. I do not own this channel. It's crazy that I even have to say that that I don't own this channel, but I do, because people are really in their conspiracy that I'm suddenly pinning comments that are positive, which is just wild to me. Someone said this is sus, and then the guy, of course, responds, not an alt account, don't know how to prove it. You don't even have to prove it. The burden of proof is on him, because he literally is accusing it of being an alt, which is just crazy. Like, what kind of mind games am I doing here? I'm playing like freaking 3D chess trying to do this, which is just insane. So you're saying you didn't plan 8 years ahead on the day KI would drop this specific update? I don't know what kind of conspiracy this is. This comment got 9 likes too, which I think is just crazy. I don't know how 9 people fell for this. Like, I don't understand it. But yeah, I was like, this is genuinely the dumbest comment I've ever had on a video, and it really is. But yeah, we're gonna get into some comments here. This one I actually liked. This one was a good comment because I'm assuming it's a girl. She said that she disagreed with me in some areas, but she also thinks that she agreed with me on some things, and I just kind of went along and I replied and said some of the things that I would like to have clarified, I guess. So we're gonna read through her comment. I'm not going to just read through my comments again because I don't really want to, and I think that will make the stream very long. So I'm just going to respond to it like just me talking, I guess. So Alicia said, I disagree with your points on the new area and spell fusion. I feel like we are already 170. It's easy to complain about no level cap increase, and how it's an extension of crack instead of a fresh world. As for new players, or players still questing in Arc 1, they won't even be able to compare this update to anything because they haven't received 170. So I feel like it all depends on who the player is, but in my opinion, I love this update. I love the idea of expanded crack. I love the idea of spell fusion. Will I ever use it? Maybe, who knows. But I definitely feel like spell fusion is more beneficial for PvP players versus PvE. So overall, I feel like we shouldn't trash this update completely, especially with saying less is more. I am one to always use this saying. However, with Wizard101, I think it's great they are making this big of an update, seeing as they haven't done an update like this before. It will be great for the game overall, especially since players have an option to use spell fusion, so you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I understand the question is mandatory, but it does add more lore. I'm assuming more love, or I don't know, more love and story to the game. I'm sure they'll fix the bugs before they launch it to live realm, and this is test run for a reason. As for the bazaar, I completely agree with you on that. Okay, so the first thing, I didn't reply to all of it, but the first thing I want to say is I wanted to address my complaints with Selenopolis and with how I said there needs to be incentive. So really, when there's a world, there needs to be 2 things. There needs to be 2 things when you add a world, or there's 2 categories of world, I should say. There is side world, and there is main world. Main worlds usually tend to give you XP. And I'm going to call Selenopolis a world, even though it's technically not a new world. It's 8 hours of content, or whatever, 6 to 8 hours of content. So I'm going to refer to it as a new world. Selenopolis is a new world. It is a main quest. You have to do it. To do Arc 5 next year, or do any main quest in the future, you have to do Selenopolis. It's required. And it doesn't give any XP. Usually main quest line worlds give XP. They usually raise the level cap, or at the very least they will give you some experience for doing the actual world. Selenopolis doesn't give you any XP. Okay, that on its own might be forgivable, right? You had Catacombs. Catacombs didn't give you XP, but what did Catacombs do that Selenopolis didn't? Well, number one, Catacombs was optional. But let's just say, for example, let's just pretend that Catacombs was required. What did Catacombs give you? Catacombs gave you gear. It gave you Dragoon gear. What does Selenopolis give you? Selenopolis gives you the same exact gear from the Nightmare Dungeon, absent a couple of new item cards, but that's it. That's all that you get out of Selenopolis. Now, some people are saying in the comments that I'll probably get into that you get magic weaving from Selenopolis. That is not true. That is not true. Magic weaving is a side system, meaning you do not have to do Selenopolis to do the magic weaving. You have to do like maybe an hour of questing to get magic weaving unlocked. But once you have it, you don't have to do the rest of Selenopolis. Selenopolis is separate from magic weaving. Magic weaving you can do at level 50. Selenopolis is something for level 170. It's different things. There are different aspects, I guess you could say, of Selenopolis. There's the magic weaving part with the blended grove. That is completely to the side of the main quest. I am only talking about the main quest of the world. The 8 hours of content that you have to do. That is what I'm talking about. So, how does Team Zell fix this? There's many ways. There's one way that I think is unrealistic, and there's other ways that I think are more realistic. One way is to just make it so Selenopolis questing through it increases your magic weaving range. I think that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to make it so max level wizards don't have to do those quests that take forever. I think that's one way you can do it to incentivize playing through Selenopolis. I think another way you can incentivize playing through Selenopolis is just by changing the gear at the end to make it better than Nightmare or comparable to Nightmare. Just making it like somewhat comparable. You know how you have multiple raids with different gear sets that are comparable to each other. That's a way you can fix Selenopolis. Another way is just simply by making it optional. Making Selenopolis an optional world is a way to fix it. It's 100% a way to fix Selenopolis. If it's optional, it doesn't matter if there's no gear. You don't have to do it. And I think that's another way to fix Selenopolis. There are a lot of ways that they can fix this problem. Now, do I think that this is making that Selenopolis in itself is making the update the worst update ever? No, definitely not. But I think people will come to realize, maybe not on your first wizard questing through Selenopolis, but maybe on your second or your third wizard, that Selenopolis is a chore. Imagine this. Arc 5 is 5 years from now. Arc 5 is released. All of the worlds have been released, and the level cap is level, let's say, 200. Let's say it's level 200, right? Let's say you wanted to make a new wizard. You get all the way to Arc 4, you finish Arc 4, then you have to do 8 hours of content that you're not getting any XP for, that there's no gear incentive, that it's the only point of doing the actual world is to get from point A to point B. That's the only reason why you do it. You have to do 8 hours of content just to get to Arc 5. Now, personally, I think that would be a chore. I think it would be pretty boring. Especially because I don't find Selenopolis to be a particularly amazing world. The story, I think, is really good. I don't want to spoil the story. But if, in terms of story, if we're talking about that, the story is really good. I think that the writing team did a very good job. But I do think that the actual look of the world, the actual aesthetic of the world, is very boring. And I know that's just my opinion. A lot of people may like it. I understand that. That's completely valid. But I do think that the look of the world is very bland. And I don't think that it is particularly fun to quest through. Now again, you may disagree with me. That's fine. But the point is, there still needs to be some incentive. There's not a single world in this game that is a main quest that there is no incentive to questing. That the incentive is having to get from point A to point B. That's not every single world offers something. Whether it's XP, whether it's new gear, every single world has something to offer. Selenopolis has nothing. Magic Weaving doesn't count because it's a side system. Okay, let's talk more about this comment. Let's see. She says, maybe, will I ever use Spell Fusion? Maybe, who knows, but I definitely feel like Spell Fusion is more beneficial for PvP players versus PvE. And you know what? That sounds like a good point. It sounds like, oh yeah, it's more beneficial to PvP players. So I don't do PvP. So I'm not really inclined to talk about this, but I asked a friend of mine, Liam. Liam is a vibe. I'm not going to pull up DMs with him, but I asked him, of the 42 new Spell Fusion spells that were added, how many of them do you think are actually going to be used actively in PvP? He told me 2 or 3, maybe 4 at max. Keep in mind, Liam does know PvP. He is very smart in PvP. He's probably one of the best Storm PvPers I've ever seen, right? He is very knowledgeable on the game. He says of the new spells added, of the 42 new spell fusion spells that have been added, only 4 of them will actually receive gameplay or actually receive love or usability in PvP. That is crazy. That is unjustifiable. Unjustifiable to have an update with 42 spells where only a handful of them, not even a handful, 4. I can count the number of spells that it will be used on one hand. That is crazy to have an entire update with that. And there are ways to fix that. There are ways to fix that, making it so you can actually train your own school spells, or at the very least, you can train into multiple different weaving schools. I think that would be fine too. But the fact that only 4 of them will actually be used is wild. And the reason why it's 4 isn't because there's only 4 good spells. There are some really good spells. It's because you only get to pick one. Because you only get to pick one, the other ones that might have been good for your school are now completely bad because you can only pick one. So obviously you're going to pick the best spell. Obviously you're going to do that. So even for PvP, it's unusable. For raids, none of the spell fusion spells you'd even use for raids. None of them. The only ones that you might use are the multi-blades. Those would be good in raids. So the only thing that is justifiable about this update are 4 spells, the double blades that you get from this, and that's it. And the Pierce Jewels, I guess, where you get multi-scroll Pierce Jewels. That's the Magic Weaving update. That's what we've added. There's so much more in the update, but I guarantee you it's okay, if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, look at the enchant system for mutates. How many of you actually use mutates? How many of you actually use polymorphs? Are they cool in theory? They're amazing in theory. They're amazing. If you said that these updates suck when they came out, when mutates and polymorphs came out, I'm sure people in the community would be like, you're just a hater. This is mostly for PvP anyways. Why does it matter? This is a cool thing. But then years go on and nobody uses them. It's the same thing here with spell fusion. Years from now, unless there are changes, nobody will use spell fusion, or very little people will actually use it. The attenuate from Death Weaving and the traps from Myth also seem useful. And yeah, there might be some things here and there that I don't know that have usability. I'm sure that there will be. I'm sure people will find things that have usability in raids or PvP. But the point still stands that the vast majority of it will not be usable. And I think that's a problem because you can't just justify an update where you add all this stuff and you know that it won't be used. And I know Cam knows that some of the stuff won't be used because I know he does PvP. I know he plays the game. I know he tries at least. So I don't understand why. But yeah, all the fusion spells don't seem to have practical purposes. Yeah, they don't. And that's just my major issue. And a lot of people, I think, don't understand that. And another thing that this person said, she said she has a problem with me saying less is more. And I understand that on the surface, that sounds bad because, you don't want the updates to be big. But I'm sorry. Let's go to my channel real quick. Let's talk about an update that happened, not the last update, but the previous update to this, the previous one, the spring update. Let's look at the Portal of Peril, for example. Here, they added this entire feature, right? And it was cool. They wanted to add more, right? This feature is not even in the game right now. It's not even in the game because it was rushed, because it was not designed properly. There were problems with it in test realm. Of course, there are problems with it in live realm, and they had to remove this feature from the game. I'm sorry, but yes, less is more, and it especially applies to this update. This update has a lot in it, a lot of which needs work, and if it goes to live realm as it is, a lot of it will not be usable. And I don't think people really understand that because they can't see past the present. They can't see past, this is cool right now, so we can't look to the future. The future says that this update has very little practicality. But okay. As for the bazaar, I completely agree. I think most people agreed with me on the bazaar, which I'm glad about. The only mutate spell that was used was Death Minotaur until it was PvP banned. Yes, that's true. That is true. The only mutate that was actually used was Death Minotaur. And something notable about Death Minotaur is that Death could actually use it. I don't think you would ever see a Myth Wizard wanting to use Death Minotaur over normal Minotaur, right? Which that's what Spell Fusion is. It's basically mutates, but you have to use off-scroll spells. The best update they made in the game was when they added one single dungeon. Yeah, Darkmoor, pretty much, I guess, was, in my opinion, one of the better updates. I don't know. There's some, I wouldn't say this is the worst update. I just did that for rage bait, I guess, but yeah. Quality over quantity is so important in a game like Wiz when most of your players are veterans. That is so true. And I think people just can't see that because they want more out of Wiz. They want KI to do more and more and more. But sometimes you need to focus on a couple of things, get them right, and then you can focus on more. I think this update tried to do too much. I really think it did. I think that you could have held off spell weaving and magic fusion till the spring or the summer. And I know that sounds harsh, or to the spring and summer of next year. Sorry. And I know that sounds harsh because I know that they worked hard on this, but I think you need to actually address, will players use it? I think that's something that KingsIsle needs to talk about. Will players actually use the system? And I don't know if they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But they need to actually know the practicality behind it. Okay, let's get on to some other comments here. There's a logical inconsistency here. There's, quote, he's quoting me, there's no benefit to doing Selenopolis. Quote, I can't unlock Magic Weaving until I do the quest. So apparently this is a logical inconsistency. It's not. And Magic Weaving is unlocked from, not from the Selenopolis quest, it's unlocked from the Celestia pre-quest, the new Celestia pre-quest. When you have to do the, you have to do the Diego tutorials and you have to do the Magic Weaving tutorials. That's not actually a part of Selenopolis. That is intended to be done at level 50. So, no. That stuff, there is incentive to do it because you unlock Magic Weaving. The rest of Selenopolis, there's no incentive to do it. When you have to talk to Fitzhume and onward, there is no incentive to do that. So it's not a logical inconsistency. And I said that, no, there isn't a logical inconsistency. Those quests are not a part of the main line Selenopolis. They are side quests to get spells. There is no incentive to do the main story. And then, of course, I received this really, in the nicest way possible, this really dumb comment. The incentive is you have to do it in order to do the next world after Selenopolis. Getting from point A to point B is not incentive. Incentive is something that actually benefits you in-game. There's nothing that benefits you in-game. Besides having to do it to do the next world is not incentive. That's saying, oh, you have to do it to do quests. That's not incentive. That's a reason. Reason is different than incentive. And this comment said that would be like saying fighting cheating bosses is the incentive to do Arc 1. If that is how you do things, you will burn out the players really fast. Getting gear, pets, anything like that is incentive. The next world is not the reward. It is the next struggle. Yeah, that's true. And then I said, yeah, bro, that's not incentive. That's just making it mandatory. You don't go to work so you can get a promotion. You go to get paid as well. And yeah, that's not incentive. Unfortunately, I am going to updates that or comments that agree with me, I am going to gloss over. I wanted to get into comments that disagreed with me, and I wanted to talk about them. But just know, like, if you commented and you agree with me, I usually replied to you and I said, like, thank you, or you said, like yeah, I agree with you, and I think that I should have maybe said it a little bit better in the video, like, just stuff like that. But I wanted to talk mostly about comments that disagreed with me in this stream. So, Brooke, if you're watching, I'm sorry that I'm not going to read your comment, but I do want to just get into comments that disagreed with what I said. Okay. Main discussion should be what a game is intended for. For a majority, it's for a break where you join your family, friends, or by yourself and enjoy leisurely time. Majority of players will not have enough time to grind everything. Before we had gear to grind, which was fine, till Darkmoor and Catacombs, weekends could be used to get best gear in the game, and players would have I'm assuming you meant to say time to try other side activities, and can, as they have fair chance with gear stats and spells. Then came spell elements, which I felt the grind, like crazy of a grind, unless you spend crowns. Then came raids, which give you the best gear, but block behind heroes, blah 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 blah, without any regard to solo players who cannot join raids due to time/zone limitations. Need to find a guild that does a raid in your time, or hey, packs it in. Now making gold 2 might as well quit. Yeah, I agree with this comment. Pretty much, yeah. This comment is very short. Making a pet is going to be impossible now. This is a point I really should have hammered home in the video. This is a point I genuinely wish I had said. I think people would have actually realized what I was trying to say about the bazaar if I had said this. If you use the hatchmaking kiosk, which I'm assuming most players do, I mean, I'm a content creator and I use the hatchmaking kiosk. I think a lot of people use it. It costs 100,000 gold. It costs 100,000 gold to actually be able to do stuff. Give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry, people are like yelling outside the door right now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I should have hammered the point home that pets still cost 100,000 gold to hatch in the kiosk. It's still 100,000 gold. So it's like, what are you getting out of it? Like, you have to spend 100,000 gold, and you have very limited options to actually get gold in the game now, with the bazaar being completely gutted. And this is everything in the bazaar. This isn't just empowers. A lot of people think it's just empowers. This is every single item in the bazaar. Let's go to Amaplex on Twitter. Amaplex describes it pretty well, I think. And we're going to talk about also these the KI dev stream that they did, talking about some of the things that they're going to change about the update. And I still think they're not really changing much good, but we'll get into that. But yeah, after seeing a lot of community discussion, we'd like to reiterate the bazaar changes on test room do not single out empowers. Empowers themselves and their sell value have not changed whatsoever. Read this for an explanation of what's going on. And I explained this in the video, but because they're raising the stock cap on each item, it's common knowledge in just economics that if you have more of an item, the value is less supply and demand. The more supply, the less demand, or yeah, theoretically the more supply, the less demand, which means the price goes down too. So the more of an item you have, the less it costs, which means also the less it is to sell. Because they're raising the stock cap, which means there'll now be 1,000 items in circulation, up from 100. Now empowers, pet snacks, gear will now cost a lot less, which means it will also sell for a lot less, meaning you will not receive as much gold out of it. Now in the bazaar itself, in theory, this is fine, because when you're actually going to buy an item in the bazaar, the price will also go down along with it. So that means that you won't really have to spend that much. But in terms of outside things like pet making, for hatching, potions, other things like that, the value of those things will now be increased, which means you will have less gold for those activities. It still costs 100,000 gold to hatch in the game. It's still very expensive. So, farming things like Halfane, which originally would give you gold, are now completely useless. You would never farm Halfane again. You would never be able to use empowers again. Those pet snacks you get from couch potatoes or evil magma peas, good luck selling those. Those are going to sell for nothing. Any treasure cards you get are going to sell for nothing in the bazaar. Basically, every single thing you can sell for gold before is now useless. The only thing you can use, I guess, now is quick sell, which doesn't really get you as much gold as the bazaar would get you. And yeah, it's basically just worthless. Okay, let's talk about this. Acknowledges that it's meant for PvP. Counterpoint, okay, whatever. I didn't really say that in the video. I'm not going to go through the entire video, but what I said was, yeah, I know it's probably meant for PvP, but even for PvP, it's not even that much. That's what I said. What I said is that most of the spells aren't even going to be used. So if it's for PvP, then why is it that most of the spells aren't even viable? Like, why? I don't think that makes much sense. And I reply, a lot of people reply, this video is so biased. I love people love playing games for story too, for fun, not just to have more power or whatever. Connecting Uh, apparently OBS disconnected. Wait, let me check stream. Give me 1 sec, y'all. I just need to make sure everything's fine. Are we good? Hey, can people in chat tell me if we're good? Because it's like, it's scaring me. Apparently OBS disconnected. Okay, I think I'm good. I hope I'm good. Okay, we're just gonna get right back into it. If there's problems, just please let me know in the chat, please. They said the price change was an unintended consequence of increasing the stock caps. They said that they were going to look at how valuable items were. Okay, good. Okay. Thank you. They said that they were going to reassess how valuable items were, which means that they were going to basically gut empowers, and they're probably going to gut things like Halfane and stuff as well. What I don't get is why I try and kill the empower market when it doesn't really give negatives to the community. Other games like World of Warcraft, it supports third-party add-ons, and FF14 as well. Exactly. Like there's no downside. They're saying like because people are being scammed. People get scammed in Wiz all the time. When I was little, I traded all my treasure cards to someone said they were going to gift me a pack. It's just kids don't understand. People get scammed all the time. You don't just take away things that literally give like value to items or things that are used as a trading system just because kids might get scammed. Most people that play Wiz aren't even kids. They're not even kids. Most people that play Wiz are adults. Like, if you're getting scammed in Wiz, like, I'm sorry, that's your problem. 9-year-old me that traded all my treasure cards to some dude promised me a pack, that was my fault. That was literally my fault. That's something you just have to learn from. It's not just, you don't just take away the trading market from the community. And you don't think the community will just find a new thing to trade? Azoth will just be the next Empower. It will just be Azoth. You don't think there'll be a new thing to trade? And some stupid comments that I saw on like Twitter about the whole Empower thing is that, oh, people were using it to get free membership. Oh my God, someone was still paying for that membership. A trade means a trade. It's not like you're exploiting. You're just trading, which means someone is still paying for the membership of the packs. Gutting the Empower market makes no sense to me. If they're afraid of kids getting scammed, removing the gifting feature. Exactly. That's inherently what's allowing it to happen. Oh my gosh. You don't just take away something from the community that, by the way, most kids don't even I don't even think most kids use damage trading post or know what it is. When I was younger, I didn't even know what damage trading post was until a couple of years ago. Like, most people aren't just trading. It's mostly just the veteran players that are using damage trading posts to get stuff. I don't understand why I punished them. I really don't. But yeah, someone said this guy thinks gaming is a job, not something just to do for fun. And I reply to another comment later down the line, but I say that I don't really have fun playing Wiz. And it's true. I don't think a lot of people have fun playing Wiz. I think people play Wiz because it's their childhood, and people play it for nostalgia reasons. And that's fine. That's a reason to play Wiz. I don't really have that much fun playing Wiz, but the reason I still play Wiz is because I want to talk about these updates. I want the game to do better. I want to have fun playing Wiz. I love Wizard101. It's my childhood. It was part of my childhood. It was integral to my childhood. I have an entire video. One of my most viewed videos is talking about how much I love Wizard101 and how much I loved it back in the day. And I want to see the game do better. Just because I don't have fun playing a game doesn't mean I should just stop playing the game. That means that I should want the game to do better. And if you guys want me to if these people want me to just quit the game, okay, fine. Then you lost a voice in the community that's actually wanting the game to do better. That's what you lost. You didn't just lose someone that doesn't like playing the game. You lost someone that's been making content, that's been urging Kinzile and other people in the community to just do better. People say that I have most of my videos are negative. Most of my videos are not negative. I have a lot of critical videos, but most of them are not negative. If we actually look at some of these, this video, I said some things I like, some things I don't like. I just went over the update notes and I said I like this, don't really like this, blah, 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 blah. This video is just me sitting down with Sam Johnson, the writer of both games, and he's just ranking the worlds, and I talked to him about how much I love Pirate and how much I love some of the Wiz worlds. I don't think that's very critical. This video, I'm just talking about what they should do with the Portal of Peril event because it was bugged. And yeah, it was a little critical of his, but I don't think I was saying it was a bad game or like it was 100% King Zell's fault. Obviously, there are things they could have done better. This video was critical. It was. But then I went and I said some things that I do like about Tractopia. This video, I was just talking about the updates. I was just talking about every single update. Not very critical. This video, I said that they need to do console in a certain way, or else it's going to suck. But I said it was really good that they're going to actually go to console. That's what I said in this video. I said either you have to make it in a certain way, you have to do it properly, or else it's not going to be good. But it's really good that you are actually going to console. Not a very critical video. This video is not very relevant to this. Guide video, why I quit PvP, again, a little critical, but it's like just how to make the game better. Every single video I talk about how to make the game better. Every single one that I may be a little bit critical of, I always say make the game better. The game can do better. And if that's me saying that, if that's just me being overly critical, or if I'm just a hater, I guess, whatever. Okay. I reply, I guess you don't know what meant for PvP means, blah, 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 blah. And someone says, you can switch in between your playstyle so you have access to a big pool. That's not true. That is not true. Having a big pool doesn't mean you can use everything. You can only use one at a time. People aren't just going to keep switching between them. That's not something that people are going to do. People aren't going to have the resources to craft dual scroll jewels for every single spell. People aren't just going to have the resources to be able to switch between every single weaving scroll. You'll only have one. You will pick one, and then that's what your weaving scroll will be. That's it. Someone said this is like saying, look at all these class-specific spells, you only get one of 7. This is basically saying, like, the beginning of the game, they introduce 7 scrolls, you can only get one of them, and that's just not true, because you can train into another scroll, so that's not even true. So, and they said, oh, it'll be expanded in the future. I'm sure it'll be expanded in the future. I'm sure it will be. I hope it will be, right? But that doesn't mean you can't change the present. That doesn't mean you can't fix what's going on right now. And what's going on right now is you can only learn one. You can't even learn 2 hits. You can only learn 1 hit. And I say that, like, you can't even learn, let's say I'm a storm weaving into death. I can't learn the death storm spell, or the storm death spell. I can't learn Joltergeist. I can learn Grimzilla, which is the death spell that weaves into storm, but I can't learn Joltergeist, which is the death spell or the storm spell that weaves into death. That doesn't make any sense. It's dual schooling, right? It's called dual schooling. Why are we limited to only death? Shouldn't I be able to learn at least my storm spell that weaves into death if I'm a death weaver or whatever? I think that makes sense. And then he's like, well, it's meant to encourage dual schooling, but it's literally, if you were allowed to train into the storm spell, that's dual schooling. And then I didn't see this comment, but then you have a spell that's equally powerful as other weaving spells that scale off your main scroll's damage, which would be busted, and there would be no reason to dual scroll. Okay, if everyone has access to their scroll spells and everyone's spells are powerful, nobody's spells is powerful. This is a quote from Syndrome. 1 second. People are being so loud right now. I don't get it. But this is a quote from Syndrome from The Incredibles. If everyone's super, no one will be. If everyone has access to spells that are powerful, nobody has access to spells that are powerful. That's just the truth. It wouldn't be busted if everyone has access to them. Okay. Someone said, every time I click onto one of your videos, it's always, this is the worst state the game has ever been in. I like this update. It sounds like you don't like the game. You should probably just quit. So people are really saying that I should quit Wiz because I don't like an update. That's crazy. Genuinely, that's crazy. And I said, or maybe I want to see the game do better. You didn't even say anything about my points, just complaining bad. There are good things in this update, but when you completely ruin how gold works, yeah, we have a problem. Especially when it costs 100k gold to hatch for 1 pet in this game. And then I don't understand it, but people are like, oh, he's just a hater. Or like, why play a game he hates so much? That's not healthy. Loser stuff. Blah 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 blah. Just stupid comments. I appreciate Mr. Dutland this comment. I haven't seen it yet, but this update is garbage. Blah blah blah. Though he's not lying, making it a tedious to do the majority of things in this game is is not a smart move. The majority of Wiz players are no lives without crying, without or no lives with nothing to want for them outside of the game. So no matter how bad the updates are, you will swallow anything that is shoved down your throat. I think maybe he's a little harsh about the community in general, but I do agree that you shouldn't make things tedious. You shouldn't make spell weaving tedious. I don't think that's a good thing to actually get one of the spells. And I know there are content creators that will be making videos on this. Like there are content creators that I'm sure a lot of these people probably watch and actually appreciate that will be making videos on this. I don't want to name any right now, but there are some really big content creators that I know that have problems with this update that are making videos on why this update needs to change. I'm just the first one. Like if you think that it's a common consensus in the content creator space that we like this update, it's not. I would say it's much more mixed. And after the bazaar, I think it's more people dislike the update now after the bazaar change. Obviously, before that, I think this was generally a net positive update. Before that, it just had problems with the bazaar in general. Now it's a net negative, and that's what made me say that this was one of the worst updates. It does more bad than good. Now they can change it, but as of right now, it is bad, and I think most people think it is bad. Most content creators, and just because I'm the first, I got a lot of hate for it, but I'm telling you right now, if you're expecting a lot of other content creators to just glaze this update, you're in for a rude awakening, because I know several people with many more subscribers than I have, thousands and thousands more, that will be making critical videos on this update. Okay, let's just get into more of the comments here. Not every update can do everything. Here I'll read some comments that I got from the chat. I left a comment on the new video 1 minute ago. I'll have to check it out, Michael. Welcome to the stream, by the way. A lot of players still haven't realized you got to restart your labor range when you choose another weaving school opposed from the first one you choose. Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't really get into the whole labor system or whatever. I didn't really get into that in the video. I should have, because I think if people had known about that, if people had actually known about the whole labor system and why it's very tedious, I think people would probably have been a little bit less hostile toward my video. I did try to describe it, like I described one of the labor systems that you had to do to actually rank up spell weaving, but I should have talked about that a little bit more. I don't think it's tedious to do 15 fights against ice weavers. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I didn't do all of the labor systems, so I did one quest, and it was you were basically polymorphed into this thing, and you had to do like a sigil. But yeah, maybe if that's what you're talking about, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that it is tedious. But if you don't think it's tedious, I don't know if you've played through it, but if you don't think so, or you think it's fine, I would recommend you go on test room right now and you play through it. Try to max out your spell weaving right now, and I promise you are going to have your opinion changed once you actually do it. It's easy to say, like watching someone do it or just seeing it, that it's very easy, but it's really not. They better add more fusion spells, because only have 2 for about 6 to 8 hours to get those is stupid. Yeah, I do think there should be more fusion spells, or at the very least, you should be able to just get more of the fusion spells they have right now. They don't even need to add more. They can just make it so you can actually get the spells that are currently in the game. You only need labor for weaving once, so yeah, there's repeating. But it's just 5 repeats, 6 weaves total. And yeah, I know it saves, but again, the amount of grind that you have to do for just 1 is crazy, and having to do that for 6 is just, I don't know, it's just insane. It's not like it's quality questing or whatever that you have to do. It's literally you have to like some of the stuff that you have to do, like letting minions kill or whatever, that I've heard is really bad. It's just, yeah, there's just problems with the weaving system in general. Well, I think they are looking to make updates to Occupy Us for the next year before a big content update. Everybody always wants to max everything out in the first day. And I understand that point. I understand saying that, like, oh, it's Like, you shouldn't match everything on the first day. That's fine. But the thing is, when something becomes more tedious, then there's a difference between something being more tedious and just something being longer. For example, Azteca, the world, I like Azteca. It's a very long world. A lot of people think it's tedious, right? And I would say, yeah, it's pretty tedious to do Azteca. But the thing is, with the magic weaving, it's not just tedious, it's also redundant. You're only learning one thing. Azteca, at least you're gaining 10 levels, you're gaining new spells out of it, you're getting new gear at the time. There was new gear. You were getting new gear, right? At least there are incentives to do Azteca. For magic weaving, you do all these tedious stuff, and you get one spell. One spell out of it. I think that's just not a good game design, in my opinion. But yeah. If you disagree with me, I would recommend that you play it in Test Realm right now. That's what I would have to say. Just play it in Test Realm. Come back to the video if you still disagree with me. But yeah, definitely not the worst. Nice clickbait though, and I was just like, well, when this comes to Live Realm and you won't be able to train or pet train because you can't get empowers. Because empowers get you nowhere and you can't farm health anymore. We will see. And then someone was just like, this is the most clickbait video. This person is literally obsessed with just hate comments for some reason. Not even just like replying to like the actual points I made. He just is literally just saying, oh, this video bad, and saying nothing else. At least some of the people that disagreed with me actually explained why they disagreed with me. This person is literally just, oh, your video bad. And I guarantee he didn't watch it because he didn't even respond to this comment. And yeah, it was actually so close. It's actually rage bait, not clickbait. And that's true, it is rage bait. And a lot of people fell for it. So it's just like that. It'll probably take 5 to 8 hours per stool you want to weave into, and the quest lines are fun. Have you tried letting minions kill? It's kind of fun. Also, average players might only have one stool weaved, but high-level players... I did actually try to have or my brother did rather, have the minions kill, and the mob that they had to kill actually spammed 80 death shields, like minus 80% death shields, the entire fight, and the minion had to kill, and it was actual cancer. I'm sorry, it was actual the worst system I've ever seen. It was so bad. And I'm sorry that it's like that. It maybe it seems fun to actually do that, but it's not. And I would hope that someone actually plays through it, and I would hope that people play through it and actually realize that. But yeah, there's gonna be more videos about why the quest line for magic weaving sucks. And I'm telling you right now, there's people a lot more subscribers than me that will be talking about this, and I'm sure they won't receive as much hate, but that's okay. I'd rather be the first one to bring awareness to it, and people then it becomes a trend or whatever, and then people actually talk about it, than be the only one that does it. So yeah. It would be funny if they added fusion minion spells. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. There's a lot of potential with the fusion system. Like I'm not saying that they need to just get rid of the fusion system. I'm saying that they need to make the fusion system better. But yeah, it took me 5 turns. Again, that's anecdotal though. Again, there's multiple different stools. There's multiple different quest lines. Maybe one quest line is easier than another, but it doesn't matter because it shouldn't be tedious across the board. It's just one thing over another. Yeah, I can say that, oh, there was one where it was the 80 death shields, but then there was other things that were tedious. So yeah, it was just like it's just anecdotal. Generally though, the system is tedious from what I've seen, and from what I've talked to other content creators who've done it more than me. The system is tedious. But yeah, let's get into more comments. There's a reason it's in test realm, and I actually do agree with this comment here. There is a reason it's in test realm, and the reason it's in test realm is for me to give feedback. It's so that we can give feedback, so we can actually make the update better. And I reply to that and I say, okay, so I'm not supposed to voice why I think the update should change. If it's in test, they have ample opportunity to change it. And then of course, and test realm requires feedback, which is what he's providing. Yep. And then he says, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a reason it's on test realm for the developers to tweak and fix its problems arise. But within the same vein, saying the whole update is bad is very inaccurate. There are parts that are bad, most of the rework to the bazaar. We can all agree on that, but there are a lot of good things in this update, like spell weaving. Again, I didn't say once in the video that I said the update was all of the update. The entire update was bad. Sorry, people are being yeah. I didn't say the entire update was bad. There are things that I liked about the update. I may have been very passionate about it, and I have said called things, in the video. I probably said, I think I said like, oh, this is garbage, this is brain dead, blah 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 blah. I think I said a lot of that, but I wouldn't say that the entire update was terrible. There were a lot of good things that were in the update. So yeah, I don't think the entire update is bad, but I will say that just saying it's in test room so that they can fix it, I think that's just generally not a very good take, because the reason it's in test room is so that we can give feedback and actually, get these things changed, which is what I'm doing. I'm giving feedback. Okay. Their 100 plus spells include spell limit path revamps for one, and I think this is a pretty long comment. Yeah, this is a long comment, which I was actually meaning to reply to on stream, so I will read through it all. It's very long, so bear with me, y'all. Their 100 plus spells include spell limit path revamps for one, and at 170 with the pin system. Dual scrolling is effective. I know people don't look at it this way, but it's a card game. This is a big change. Being able to mix and match cards for a new deck and new strategies, that's a great idea. And complaining creatures spam plagues and shields is a dumb argument. I ever played a card game, the Magic the Gathering, has the color blue notoriously for counterplay, blah 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 blah. Asking for enemies you can steamroll with no effort will make the game boring and kill combat. I didn't say that, but whatever. I like the fact that pushing players to get out of Blade into AoE 7 fight into every fight, blah blah blah. Let me just reply to this real quick. I never said that they need to make the game easy, or that Blade into 7-bit AoE is fun. I never said that. I said that there's a difference between something being tedious and being annoying, and something actually being challenging. For example, something that's very annoying is the Nightmare Dungeon, having to do the Nightmare Dungeon 15 times to actually be able to craft your gear. I think that's pretty annoying. I think that's very, very annoying. I don't think it's challenging. I think it's very annoying. For this, I think that having to do these magic weaving quests, they are very annoying. It's not particularly fun. It's annoying. There's a difference between something being challenging and fun and something being challenging and annoying. Okay. Alright, new content can also be a good thing, and people need to stop bashing things because it's different. If an enemy does counterplay, that's the nature of card games. I like the fact that we're getting dual scroll options, and spell elements also incentivize dual scrolling because there's off-scroll spells that can buff your main scroll, and upgraded Cyclops, for example, plus DOT traps on creatures if they have DOTs, so fire has more trap options. Plus the chromatic symbol is great for things like Keeper of the Flame. Now suddenly a fire myth duel suddenly has more trap options. Fire is really good at trapping myth fire, and myth gives fire more of that, for example. I know saying I have fun dual scrolling isn't a good argument, but it's nice and refreshing change of pace from my usual style of play, and I think the game needs more of that. I do think the game needs dual scrolling. I do. I think that dual scrolling is actually a good thing in the game. I never said it was bad. I never said that it shouldn't be a thing. I said that it needs work. That's what I said in the video. I said that there needs to be some changes, and I stand by that. I think that dual scrolling is great. I would love to dual scroll, personally, but what I don't love is having to do these obnoxious and tedious quests, and what I don't love is that I can't also learn my scroll spells. I think that I should also be able to learn my scroll spells along with the other scroll spells. Okay. Giving players option to dual scroll into things and add variety to their combat sounds like a great idea. However, I was expecting brand new spell quests for the fusion system, just like Arc 1 did with spell quests. I remember if I wanted my 7-pip AoE for balance, it required me to go to work and kill the plague oni. It was a lot of work, but also rewarding. Plus, my 7-pip AoE quest on my balance is completely different than my necromancer quest, where I go quest collect liquid enemies. So there's variety. I didn't want another thing to grind out. This game has far too many things that you need to grind, and there's no variety anymore. That's the problem. Spell fusions require grinding out random fights, not using your cards, the wizard you crafted. Come on, that's baloney. I agree with this. I do generally agree with this. Plus the barrier to entry and spell fusion is big. That's also true. I agree with that. And finally, killing the bazaars, killing viable ways to make gold is just such a terrible idea. Yeah, I agree with all of this pretty much. I like the search feature. Again, there's the actual UI revamp of the bazaar is good, but making it so that the stock cap is 1,000 items is just terrible. If you want to kill the empower market, you need to make better ways to get gold. That's true. You took a step in the right direction when you made a caramel boss in the ratings board dungeon, 20k gold per one. More bosses in the longer winded dungeons need to drop more than 100 to 200 gold per run. Seriously, you're telling me at best the final boss in Wizard City Catacombs gives me 60ish gold? Come on, 100%. I agree with that. That's definitely. If they want to go through with this update, they need to make a few changes, and I feel like if you want to point out problems, you need to offer solutions. I feel like I did offer a lot of solutions in the video. Maybe I should have spent more time on it and been like, this is what they should do, blah, 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 blah. But I would be like, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do this? This is another option. They could just do this. That's what I said. And maybe I should have fleshed out my solutions more. But yeah, if you learn your own scroll spells, there would be no reason to dual scroll because your own would always be the best cards to use. That's not true. That's just not true. There's utility in the other scroll spells. There's utility that you can use in the other scroll. And with the new Pierce jewels, you can actually get Pierce and damage with other scroll spells. The thing is, it's a mixture of utility. I think the best option for Kinzel to do is just, if you are a storm weaving into death, you should be able to learn Joltergeist, which is the storm spell that has death in it, and you should also be able to learn Drumzilla, which is the death spell that has storm in it. I think that's how it should work. Generally, I think that's how it should work. I don't think that you should be able to learn multiple scrolls. I think you should be able to learn one scroll for your weaving scroll, and you should be able to get 2 spells out of it. That's how I think it should work, in my opinion. It's still very limited, yes, but I think that that's how it should work. You should be able to learn both. I don't think that makes it so you would only use your own scroll spells. First of all, Grimzilla is a different pip spell than Joltergeist. Grimzilla is I believe either a 5 pip or 6 pip spell. Joltergeist is, I'm pretty sure, a 3 or 4 pip spell. So there's differences in the actual spells. You wouldn't always just use your own scroll. You would also use the other scroll too. I think that would be way too powerful. I don't think it would be if everyone has access to it. If everyone has access to that, I don't think it would be. If everyone can learn their spell along with another scroll spells, I don't think it would. And if it is too powerful in PvP, there's just, when you train it, make it PvP banned. Just when you train the spell, make it PvP banned for you. If it genuinely does cause problems, which it might, I'm not saying it would be, it would never, there's not a chance it could. It could very well cause problems in PvP. Just make it PvP banned if you learn it if you learn one of your own spells, just make it so it's only for PvE. I don't see any problem in that. I don't think anything would be too powerful in PvE. I don't think any of them would be. Okay. My bad. I'm pretty sure I am sick, y'all. So my bad if I'm coughing a lot. But this comment says, make spellments less grindy to farm. The only way to dual scroll effectively is by collecting pins and having good 170 gear and upgrade spells via spellments. It's way too much grind. I've been able to grind it out, and dual scrolling is actually really fun, but the amount of effort that goes in is such a headache. And with the portal of problems being able to spellment farm, that's an issue. And then spellment upgrades costs need to be seriously cheaper. I agree with that. Fix your pity system, for God's sakes. The pity system you have in Novus is the absolute worst. I have millions of reagents, but because I don't got these shoes, I can't craft things. I can't craft this thing. The cost of converting items should be at most 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1. 2 to 3 boots for one boot of your choosing. 9 is asking too much. I know MMOs asked to take a lot of players' times to do things, but you've literally got time gates into farms, keys to bosses to spellment farm, which are dreadful. I agree 100%. Actually, here, 3, drop rates need to feel rewarding. I hate spending hours of my time to farming for stuff and getting dog water. My time in the game is not respected, and these updates make the game progressively more grindy and disregard players' time. I 100% agree. God forbid I gotta make a new account or a new wizard. I'm just saying it takes too damn long. The game grinding players' patience into the ground to do anything, and players are finally starting to get sick of it. Yes, I 100% agree with this too. The grind in Wizard101 is way too much. Revive actual spell quests. Having a fun story reason that the spell is far more engaging than grinding a trash mob for several hours. Yes, that's another reason. Want a new quest on it? There you go. I don't think Harry Potter collected 40 glass vials and 6 amber just to use Leviosa. That's, again, a lot of this is spitting straight facts. No, he learned it through study. You know, the original point of Arc 1 and Wizard101. Stop breaking your game and fix your garbage. K has had several updates in Pirate and Wiz that are completely broken. You broke content. Animations in Pirate are still not working properly, and your games are progressively getting more buggy. At this point, I'd rather the devs spend a year or two to fixing the game and improving the half-baked content they have over at a new world. I also agree with that. I think if KS should be spending their time to fix the content currently in the game and not just add new every single update. I'd rather stop adding new content that's bad. Fishing is still dookie and latency is a problem. Farming is a nightmare and cantrips are a literal waste of time and energy. The resource in pet training is the literal definition of insanity. There's no reward for completing the job that's Wizard101 endgame. There's a check that says take a bath, you're fired, because right now the game is a job and you're paying them for the privilege of being able to being their workaholic. This comment is probably the best one I've received on this video. Spitting absolute facts, especially in this later half, about the grind of Wiz. And I think that I want to make a video on how much grind Wizard101 is. Good on Chaos Gaming. This is a very, very good comment. I saw a really dumb reply to it that it was like, nobody is reading this trash take. Well, I mean, I just did, and I don't think it was trash, but yeah, a ridiculous comment. Just, Yep, and you'll keep spending money on this game too. Exactly. Really good comment on Chaos Gaming there. I agree with most of it, and I think dual scrolling is cool. And I think maybe he or she didn't really understand what my take on dual scrolling was, which is fine. I wasn't. There are things I should have been more clear about in the actual video. There are things that I should have said more clearly and coherently. I like dual scrolling. I think dual scrolling is something that they should definitely incentivize. I like that. Generally, I think that is a good thing. I just don't like how it's implemented currently in the game right now. I disagree with all your points other than the bazaar change, and I'm just like, well, you didn't really say anything. Like, why shouldn't my storm be able to learn any of the new storm fusion spells? Why should your wizard only be able to learn one of them? It's just like, you just said you disagree with me and you didn't really say anything, which is like fine. It's not like the worst. I've received worse comments on this video, surprisingly. That people have been really upset over this video. But yeah, I just generally say, like just explain your position more, and he or she does not. So I don't think this is the real WizHead 101. I think this is just like another like a fake account, or maybe it's an alt. But if it is, then that's kind of wild that WizHead is commenting on my video, considering all the stuff that he's been involved in. But yeah, River Soul Rider says, to make PvP different, to do something different. Like, bro, change your thinking about the game. Games are something to enjoy, not as something to do every single day for the rest of your life. Doing the same thing every day. I think KingZyle needs to think about, like, I think KingZyle needs to change their thinking about the game if this guy thinks that's the case. Like, yeah, you're right. Games are something you should enjoy. So maybe KingZyle needs to change their thinking about the grind that they're putting into the game. I think this is something to tell KingZyle, not to tell me. This is like blaming players for the stuff that devs do, which is just kind of crazy. Like, it's my fault that you have to grind the magic weaving system for hours. It's my fault. Like, I don't really understand that. I don't, but yeah. This update is not for standard mode. In standard mode, Blade AoE is always the best. In advanced mode, PvE, learning your own spells. It's actually not for both. It's actually not for advanced content either. Only 4 of the spells actually have viability in PvP, and only the dual scroll blades have viability in raids, and maybe the dual scroll traps and maybe like some one-off spells and whatnot have any usability in raids. The new fusion attack spells, I'm telling you right now, almost none of them are being used. Almost none of them are going to be used in raids, and of the ones that are going to be used in PvP, only about maybe 4, 5-ish are going to be used, so it's actually for neither. I think the main point of friction, I think of fusion, I meant to say fusion, is that others may enjoy something you don't, and that's okay. It's not that others will enjoy something I don't, it's that it's not going to be used by pretty much anyone. It's like, I want to enjoy that system, I want to use that system, but it's, as it exists right now, it's 90% of it is useless. So yeah. Oh, you mean okay, you did mean friction. Yeah, and I think a lot of these people that are commenting, they haven't played Test Run. And I genuinely think that just because I don't understand how you can actually do the Magic Weaving quests in game, how you can actually play through Selenopolis in game and have some of the takes that these people have. I think some people actually have good takes and some people actually made good points, and I believe that a lot of people did play Teststrom. But a lot of the comments, like this comment for example, I don't think this guy played Teststrom. I really don't. I don't think he did. Because you wouldn't be saying this if you actually had played through the Magic Weaving quest lines. If you actually know what they are like, you wouldn't be saying this. You missed my point. Can you reiterate what you're trying to say? Because I'm a little confused. I'm assuming that what you were originally trying to say is that what I said about the fusion system is that most people excuse me. I think what you were trying to say with the fusion thing is that it's something that I don't enjoy that others enjoy. And I thought that was originally what you said, but then you said friction, so I'm confused as to what you meant by that term. I'm just like, is he talking about like because I don't like the update and others do? I'm a little confused. So if you want to just reiterate what you mean, that'd be helpful. Then this comment says, then don't play it. It's all side content, which it's not. Selenopolis is main content, but whatever. You're putting all these times into these spells only for the player to get one spell. I think they should get rid of spell quests because I can't do the other 6 quests. I should just be given the spell. I have never heard of a more goofy rant. You're probably the same person who would complain about story identity, but now is complaining that they can't learn all the spells in the game. No, I was not complaining about story identity. I've never complained about story identity in Wiz. I have always said that there should be more dual storyline options. There should be more customization in Wizard101. The whole story identity arguments I think are quite stupid. Some people have made good points about story identity in the past, but nowadays I think that story identity needs to. It just doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist. There should be more customization in Wiz. You should have more options in Wiz. But yeah, the whole getting rid of spell quests, it's not that I want them to get rid of spell quests. I want them to make it so that they're not grindy. I want them to make it so that they're not stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but everyone's complained if they're a Death or Life Wizard having to defeat Freddy 9 lives 9 times. Everyone's complained about that. Everyone on It's Played Wiz and it has a death has complained about having to do that. Everyone. And I think that's ridiculous. I don't think you should have to do that. It's the exact same thing with this. It's too tedious. It's tedious. Tedious does not equal fun. It does not equal engaging. And, these people said, well, technically it's not side content because you have to do it to progress. If it was side content, like you said, you could skip it if you wanted to. It's not side content. It's required to do it to Arc 5. Yeah, generally these people, they make good points. It's not side content. You have to do it. It's not. The weaving stuff at least is. The only complaint about the world that was stated was that it was like Croc and it was boring. However, this is likely just out of anger of the other systems. A lot of the stuff that I was passionate about in the video was out of I was just passionate because of the bazaar. I may have been a little bit too passionate on some aspects, so yeah. And then this comment says he's literally just rage baiting for views. Let me just show you something real quick. I have to turn my screen off because I don't want to leak anything. But let me just show you how much money I have made on YouTube, and to show you that this is not for views. It's not. This is because I like making videos and I want to see the game do better. I don't make money on videos. I don't want to leak anything, so I'm just gonna go to where is it? I'm going to go to revenue. Here, I'll show you. Okay, let me turn my screen back on. Hopefully this doesn't leak anything. Okay, so I know it says it's 9 an hour or whatever. It takes a couple of days to process, but this video will make nothing. This video will make nothing in terms. I will gain no money off of this video. I will make nothing out of this video. Nothing. I'll show you some of my other videos to prove it. Real quick. I'll show you one of my most viewed videos. Let's go to a... how do I go to most viewed? Let me just search. Let's go to ranking the 7 stools. This video has, I think, 20,000 24,000 or so views on it, I'm pretty sure. Analytics, revenue. Okay, this video has, I think, 24,000 or so views. I've made no money. No money on this video. Absolutely none. You can go to any of my videos. I have made no money on YouTube whatsoever. Nothing. I make these videos because I want to see the game do better. I don't do it for views. I may have maybe did a little bit of a controversial title and thumbnail because I wanted to get my point across and I wanted people to actually see it, but I don't do it for views or for money. I really don't. It's very demotivating not making money on YouTube, especially when you make a lot of videos on YouTube. You can ask any content creator that they'll say it's when a video is a 10 out of 10 and doesn't make money, it's very demotivating, especially when you put a lot of work into it. I don't make money on even my 1 out of 10s. I don't make money at all. I do this purely out of passion and love for the game. So it does generally make me upset that people think that I do it for money, because I want to see the game do better. That's what it's always been. It's always been about wanting to see the game be better, do better, and it's about wanting to see the game grow and go beyond what it is right now, which I don't think it's in a good state. Okay, same person that commented this said, we're literally getting updated graphics for Croc and free Wiz City and Croc. There are ups and downs to this update, but overall I'd say it's an up. Overall it's good. Again, the whole free Wiz City, first of all, it's not free Croc, it's only free Wiz City. And the thing is with that is, yes, that's good, but it's not really an update. It's not in the update notes. It's just something they're doing. Like making Wizard City free is just something that they're doing. It's not really a part of the update, but if you want to include it in the update, sure. That's an amazing thing that they're doing. If you ask me, it's been a long time coming. They should have done this years ago, changing the paywall in Wizard City to be all of Wizard City. It should have been something that happened many, many years ago, 10 plus years ago, but you know what? It's good that they're doing it now. Sure. And you're right, there are ups and downs in this update, but overall I'd say it's good. You're right. And I replied, Croc graphics update is a good thing. Ruining pet training and hatching is not. Ask yourself, how much time do you spend in Croctopia versus how much time do you spend at pet training? And that's true. Yes, Croc graphics are a good change, right? But it's a little bit different than Wizard City, because in Wizard City you spend almost all your time there. In Croctopia, how much time do you spend there? Very little. You don't actually spend that much time in Croc. And I know with Selenopolis, they're trying to make it so you spend more time in Croc, and that's fine. But generally, I don't think it's going to beat how much time you spend pet training. And pet training is going to be completely gutted because of the bazaar changes. Someone said, new players, do you not want new players for this game? Do you really hate this game so much that you want it to die? Making the first 2 worlds for free is huge. How is pet training dead? They nerf one way to get gold, you act like it's the end of the world. LMAO, learn how to make pets, learn the copying method, learn how to get gold. There's a reason we're all asking for gold maintenance, because we have too much gold. Jesus Christ. This is such a dumb comment. I'm sorry. This is such a... I don't even know how to process this. I never said they shouldn't make Wiz City or Croc free. Not once. I never said that they shouldn't update Croc graphics. I liked that they did. I think it's good that they did. I hope that they update other worlds' graphics. I said that it's not more beneficial than negative because of the bazaar change. If the bazaar change was not in the update, then yes, there would be more good than bad. The bazaar change alone is enough to bring the update down. And all of these people are like, oh, I have a lot of gold. Gold is fine. It's like, bro, they're about to change your current process of how you actually get your gold through empowers, through pet snacks, through halfing gear. That current process is about to be changed. I don't understand why people don't see this. Like, yeah, right now in the game, you have a lot of gold. But I promise you, if you think that you will still have gold after this update, if it goes through as it is right now, you will not. Your gold will go down the drain eventually. You may have gold for a little while after its release, but eventually you will be struggling for gold, as it will everybody else. If you don't think so, I implore you to actually play through the update, spend all your gold on test run right now. Go down to 0 gold and try to farm gold. See how hard it is to farm gold right now on test run. And then come back to the video. Then come back to the video and tell me that I was wrong. These people cannot see past the present. They cannot see past what they're seeing right now. Right now, what they're seeing is oh, it's a cool system. Magic weaving and spell fusion, they're a cool system. That's all that they see. All they see is, ooh, cool content, cool product. I can't wait for more product. That's what they see. They don't see the actual future or the implications that this update has on the actual game. And this is like, how is pet training dead? Like, they nerf one way to get gold and you act like it's the end of the world. I'm sorry, but empowers are how people pet train. I don't know if you've ever pet trained before. I'm sure most people have pet trained in this chat right now. Like you use empowers. it's very common. Or you use couch potato snacks that you can sell. It's very common knowledge that you use those things when you pet train. But whatever. This person doesn't understand what I'm saying. It's some people I just don't understand, and this is one of the comments that I'm just like, what? But yeah, I was like, what the actual F are you yapping about? Like, dude, I just, like, what? I don't know. It's just crazy to me. A main complaint I'm hearing with no level cap, but no improved gear, spell weaving too long for one spell, etc. is no incentive. But this is a video game where you play for fun, not for a number on the screen to go up or to get better stats for the update. If you actually need some sort of incentive like that, you have a problem playing games. This is another really, really dumb comment, in my opinion. That, like, saying that there's no reason for playing, you shouldn't have a reason to play Wiz, is just crazy. There are reasons why people play every game. Yes, Wiz is a story game. There's a lot of story in it too, but there's also in-game incentives. It's a consistently updated game. It's a game that gets updated every 3 times a year. There's new content every year. It's a game that you need something to do from 2024 to 2025. There needs to be something to actually do in the game every year. They have Wallaroo. They had Wallaroo last year. They had Novus the year before that. You had new worlds, right, with new content and new stuff to do. This world that they're adding has no incentive beyond just being a new world. There needs to be something to farm. There needs to be something to do with the new world. If there isn't anything to do, or if they don't want to do that, then that's fine. That's completely fine. Just make it so it's optional. I don't understand the argument that, oh, you shouldn't be playing the game if you don't want to get better stats or whatever. Again, I didn't even say it had to be better stats. I said it could be XP. I said it could be new spells, even, like, that are intermittent throughout the quest line or whatever, but not just the spells that you get within the first hour of questing through Selenopolis. Not those spells, like the new ones that they added. But yeah, this I don't know. Let me see what I just said to this comment, because I don't even know. I know I said Wiz is not a game I play for fun anymore, and it has not been for a while, and that's true. Wiz isn't really a game I play for fun. It's a game I play because I want to see it do better. I make videos on it because I want to make the game better, and I want to give my opinions, and I want the game to actually be better than what it is right now. And if you disagree, if you play Wiz for other reasons, that's fine. That's completely fine. But this is the reason I play Wiz, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, me not playing the game for fun anymore. It's not. I'm sorry, but I think a lot of people in the community don't really play the game for fun. A lot of content creators. I know it might be shocking to hear that, but there's a lot of people in the community that play the game because they have hope that the game will do better. There's a lot of people that have quit the game because they don't think the game is going anywhere. Most recently, Blaze Lifehammer took a year break off of Wiz because he didn't enjoy the game anymore. He came back, obviously, probably because he misses the community, and that's another thing that keeps me going. The love for the community. I love the community usually. I usually love the community. I think that the community aren't really seeing this update straight, and I will push back on it. I will push back, and I will say that I don't think that the people in the community, I wouldn't say the majority in the community, I would say the majority actually did appreciate the video, but I would say that a very vocal minority aren't seeing this update straight. they aren't really seeing like what this update is, or looking to the future, or looking beyond what they see right now. I will say that, and I will say that I hope that they come to realize in the future when more content creators talk about this thing, and it's not just me and Liam or whatever, that they will come to realize that this update needs to change. And then he's like, why are you playing it? Games are fun. I play the game because I have hope TinsDale will make a good update and fix the game. This update was one step forward, two steps back. And that's what most updates are in Wiz now. It's one step forward, two steps back. This is generally how it is. Okay, let me look at chat because I know I missed some chats. Okay. What are your thoughts on my comments from the video? I don't know if I got to your comments yet. Oh, your comment is right there. Okay, I will respond to your comment literally momentarily. Just give me 1 second. I really like the system as everyone was so obsessed with the Empower TC. Do you mean the Bazaar? Like, what system do you mean? Do you mean Spell Fusion? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Just if you want to clarify. But yeah. And then why do you play it? And then I was like, I quite literally answered the question here because I hope that the TinsDale would make good updates and I want to give my feedback. That's quite literally why I play. So then this comment is, this video is indeed a ramble. And I was like, if it means K, I will fix things, I'll ramble all day. But yes, I do agree that the video was a ramble. And I quite literally say at the beginning of the video that it is a ramble. Here, let me play the video. Now, I usually script my videos, for better or for worse. I don't really like going on tangents or monologues, I guess. I like to have all my thoughts, concise and neat and orderly. But this update has been such a train wreck and an absolute disaster. And there's too many areas to talk about why this update is so garbage that I just need to put it all in one video. So I literally say at the beginning that it is a ramble, and yeah, it is. And honestly, maybe looking back on it, I do wish that I had changed a couple things around. Maybe I had actually, stripped it a little bit more, made it more concise. But there was a lot of stuff that I had to talk about, and I didn't have enough time to strip it because, from my perspective, Test Room was literally closing the next day. So that's why I rushed it out a little bit. Honestly, I should have done it a little bit better. I wish I had done it a little bit better. But yeah, I do think generally it's a ramble. And then he said, there's nothing wrong with having constructive feedback about something, but this wasn't constructive. It came across as a way to view farm. If that was your goal, it worked. Hopefully what I'm about to say is constructive. Discounting the experience of others who may enjoy this content and calling it the worst thing ever seems short-sighted. I'm sure there are things that you enjoy in the game that I don't. That's fine. I wouldn't say this makes the game worse. I would say it makes it better. Having more ways for different people to enjoy something is a good thing. Part of the longevity of the game is variance and the things you can do. And the latter part of that comment I do agree with. I do think that having more things that people enjoy. Some people enjoy this, some people enjoy that. I think that's generally a good thing. But I do think I was being constructive in the video. I don't have specific timestamps, and I probably wish I had gotten to them, but there were several times where I offered solutions, or I said, you can do this instead, you can do this and this and this. And I generally do think it was constructive. Maybe I was very passionate, maybe I was a little too passionate and such, but I do think that I generally gave feedback and I generally gave criticisms that were constructive and gave actual solutions to the update. But I do generally recognize that because I was very passionate and because I was using a lot of strong language throughout the video, that I may have came across as not very constructive. I do agree with that. So I just say that I don't understand how I wasn't constructive. I had multiple solutions throughout the video. I made this video at 2 a.m. last night, completely unplanned. I just needed to get my thoughts out about the update, mostly the Bazaar, and why that would ruin the game. I did it because I'm passionate about the game. I want the game's success. I loved the idea of fusion before we found out how I handled it. Half the reason I don't like this update is not because of the content. It's because of how it was handled by the devs and their, quote, rules over which schools can learn what. If you think I'm view farming, so be it. Constructive would have been laying out your points objectively without insults to the developers. I don't really think I insulted the developers at all throughout the video. Saying an update is bad or garbage, or even using strong language like saying, oh, this decision was brain dead or whatever, which I know I say in the video. I don't view that as an insult. If they're offended by that, then, I mean, that's kind of on them. And I don't I never really insulted the character of the devs that made this update. Like, I'm not saying that they're stupid. I think that they made the wrong decision, but I'm not saying that they're generally dumb. I think that a decision is really stupid that they made, but I don't think they're dumb. I think that they know what needs to happen, and I hope that they will change this update and make it better. I don't think the devs are stupid. I don't. I've met quite a few devs. I've talked to quite a few devs. I know what I know that they have passion in the game. They want the game to succeed. They want the game to be good. Right? I think that they made the wrong decision, and that's just me laying it out in this video and giving my feedback. But yeah, it looks like you are taking a more nuanced stance in the comments now, so cheers. And we got a couple of really not very good comments here. These couple as well. Wizzyhead, which I don't know if this is the real Wizzyhead, but if it is, then get out of my comments. I don't really want Wizard101 in my comment section. But yeah, you were just hating to get views, not to actually provide constructive criticism. Again, I don't know if you watched the full video. I don't see how you could think that, because I gave solutions multiple times. Saying something is bad and saying something needs to change, and then saying, oh, I would change it, or I would do this, this, or this. I think that's constructive. If you don't think that's constructive, I don't know what to tell you, man. I think that's constructive what I did. Yeah, I was passionate, but sometimes you have to be passionate, especially when there's a lot of people in the community that are saying that this is an amazing update. Teams will become complacent because of that. Like, you have to be passionate in certain regards. Like, if everyone was saying this update sucked, then I probably wouldn't be as passionate, because I would be like, I'm sure KI will fix it, but from my perspective, I don't know if Teams will fix it. I don't know. I hope they will. I hope they do. But with the amount of people that are saying that this update is good, that obviously can't see past what is in test room right now, they can't see the future. It's just crazy to me. And then you were literally just streaming at the microphone. You were showing so much emotion, and yeah, I was passionate. Correct, I was. I don't think I was streaming at the microphone, but I was passionate throughout the video. I was. And yeah, this person who I don't even think has played through the update, this whole video is just some guy streaming at a microphone, and it's like, yeah, sure. And I guess if you think that, but whatever. I never once insulted the devs, saying an update is not as bad as an insult. And okay, let me see what this is. I'm pretty sure Cam doesn't like the system either. Absolutely brain dead, by the way. I don't know why these devs have a problem with the system. You don't have a way to trade items in game. You don't have a way to transfer gold. You don't have a way to transfer reagents between wizards, like between players. You don't have any way to. Okay, this is me talking about the empower thing, and how I think it's really dumb, a really dumb decision for the devs to try to gut the empower market. And I do think it's a really stupid decision to do that. But I don't think it's insulting to the devs. I think that it's me giving my criticism, and that it's me telling them that this is a bad decision. I don't think Cam is stupid. I don't think Rapier is stupid. I don't think Joel is stupid. I don't think any of them are dumb. I think that they have their reasons for doing it, and I disagree with it, and I think they're dumb reasons, but I don't think that they're stupid as a person. Like, personally, I have no personal vendetta against any of the devs. None. I don't think that was an insult. If you think it's an insult, I don't really know what to say, other than I guess we have to agree to disagree on that. If the devs are insulted by what I had said, then it's kind of, I don't know. There's people that have literally given them death threats, which is crazy, and that's actually horrible. That I don't know why people would do that in this community, but like, if they're offended by what I have to say by calling one of their decisions stupid, then I guess that's, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that it's insulting at all. But if you think so, then I don't know. I guess we just have to agree to disagree. If this update wasn't for standard content, then don't make Selenopolis a mandatory world to get to Arc 5. It's going to be so unrewarding to release all this content just to target a fraction of players. Yes, I agree. It should not be mandatory. I would pin this stream in the comments of your video. It adds worthwhile context. Yeah, I will. I will do that for sure. After the stream is done, I will pin the stream, and I'll do like a little card at the end of the video and put it in the description. I'll do all of that. Okay. I didn't reply to this comment for some reason. I should have replied. I tried to reply to all comments, so I'm sorry if I didn't like reply to you. But this comment seems to agree with me, I think. I'm not gonna read through all of it because I think I've been streaming for a while. Yeah, about an hour and a half. This is meant to be an hour stream, by the way. So I've been streaming for like quite a minute. So we're gonna kind of go a little bit quicker here because I do want to get into some of the stuff that KI have said in their stream. This update looked promising, but when I heard about the bazaar changes to selling it completely kills it. I agree. This person just said womp, which is like, okay, I guess it's womp womp when you go to train a pet in the future from now on, but or whatever. If you don't like training pets, that's fine. Okay. Don't worry, the spells will be good in spots where you can't blade, feint, trap, or aura. That's where they shine. Again, I don't really know if that's true. Like, I don't really know if they'll be used in those areas either. Like, if you can't blade, feint, trap, or aura, which is very few fights, by the way. That's not that many fights in the game. But if there is a fight that's theoretically like that, I don't really think they will, because especially since a lot of the spells use gambits, which require blades, traps, like that. I guess some require heal over times, but I mean, sure, if you want to use that, I guess that's a way you could use them, I suppose. But I don't really think that they will be used. But I guess we'll have to see. Maybe there'll be like 1 or 2 fights where you'd use them. Oh no, long fights. I'd rather face a boss I can kill in 1 turn drive. This is fun. Okay, there's a difference between long fights. There's a difference between tedious fights and challenging fights. There's a difference. Would I rather fight an enemy that just spams shield and weaknesses the entire time and heal spams? Or would I fight an enemy where I have to actually think on how to beat him, where it's actually challenging to beat him, and it's not just a heal spam or a shield spam or a weakness spam? This is kind of the same mentality about Jades in PvP. If you don't know what Jaden is, it's basically when a player just heal spams and shield spams and goes in with immunity or resist, a lot of resist. That's not fun, that's tedious. This is the same vein. It's tedious. There are PvP, a lot of people like PvP because it's a challenge. You have to figure out how to beat your opponent. You have to get into the mind of your opponent and figure out how to beat them. Jades are just tedious to fight. And that's the same with this update. The fights in this update, in terms of spell weaving, aren't fun. They aren't anything like new or refreshing. They are just tedious for the sake of it. And I reply to this comment and I say that. And I was like, yeah, hitting into 80 shields are so fun. It's so much fun. And make the enemy turning on purpose and hitting their weaknesses famously so much fun. And then he's like, again, I'm convinced this guy's a troll here. It's called engaged in content. That's not brainless. Not everyone wants to AoE for the rest of their lives. I didn't say that at all. And I don't think that people should blade into AoE. I hope that that's fixed. I hope that that's changed. But I do think that how it is right now with the spell weaving or the magic weaving, it is not engaging content in the slightest. I think it is just tedious. It's not like it's challenging. It's just tedious. Hi, the Galaxy Crab. Welcome to the stream. Okay. This comment, honestly, this is the worst take I've heard in my life. Kinzao cooked with this update, whether it was intended for PvP or PvE. The new spells are dope. The new quests are dope. The updated track is incredible. The story is good. The fights are good. Simple shooter. I know for a fact you uploaded this for hate bait to get attention because you're desperate. Okay, because I'm desperate. All right. I don't want to go in. I don't want to respond to that because I feel like I'd be bragging. But whatever. I won't. I'm desperate, I guess, and it clearly worked. But like, come on, anyone with common sense can see Kinzao did good work here. They deserve recognition for it. They deserve recognition for some of the work that they did. I think the concept of some of the work that they did is incredible. The concept of this update, incredible. Execution of this update, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this comment says, Kinzao cooked with this update whether it was intended for PvP or PvE. It was intended for PvP, but it's not going to be even remotely usable in PvP. It won't, like, most of the spells won't even be used. The new spells are dope. I mean, okay, but like when 90% of them aren't being used, I don't know how that's dope. It would be dope if we could use them. I would give them that. If we actually could use the spells, 100%, I would love it. But we can't. We can only use one. The new quests are dope. I mean, it depends. I mean, if you like Selenopolis because of the story, that's just a. I mean, I like the story of Selenopolis. I just don't like the actual. You don't get XP and you don't get anything out of it. But if you liked it, then sure. That's just your opinion. Sure. The updated track is incredible. I do have a couple of issues with the updated track. I think that some areas kind of look weird. It could just be because it's change, and change sometimes doesn't. It looks strange at first. But I for the most part, track is a good revamp. It's most of the areas, especially the Oasis, looks absolutely beautiful. I had a video actually planned about the crack revamp, and just going through every area of crack and saying, oh, I like this area, I think this area looks good, I think this area could use some retouching and could use some work, but overall it's good. I generally do like the crack revamp. Story is good. I think I agree with that. The fights are good. That depends on the fights. Selenopolis itself hasn't had that many challenging fights, but the Magic Weaving quests, or I mean tedious fights, I should say. There are some challenging fights in Selenopolis, but some of the quests for the weaving system are just completely tedious and ridiculous. Wizard Pluto is the worst Wizard101 YouTuber ever. He doesn't enjoy Selenopolis. Yep, I'm the worst. I am the new Liam is a vibe, I guess, because I complain about the game and I criticize it. Now I see where Liam's coming from, because Liam spends like a lot of his time criticizing the game, but he at least cares about the game. He wants to see the game do better, and I guess like I do that for one update. Like I've criticized the game in the past, but it's just this update for some reason that people are losing their minds over me criticizing. Like it's like, come on, dude. Like what? I've criticized the game before and not received this much hate. And I get it, maybe because it's because of the passion that I put in, and because it's a ramble at times. But I don't get it. I understand why what Liam has said. Pluto is a vibe. Yep, Pluto is a vibe. That is me now. I am the new Liam. I know for a fact you uploaded this for hate bait to get attention because you're desperate and clearly worked. I am desperate. Yes, I need I need the 0.0001 revenue I made off of my most viewed video. Just yeah, that I need views, dude. Yeah, that's just yeah. I make no money off of YouTube, by the way, none, and I just do it because I'm passionate. But I'm desperate for views, I guess. But whatever. Anyone with common sense can see Kinzao did good work here. All right, let's see what I said. I just said. I replied to a lot of comments, so I was just like, do you like having gold in Wizard101? And he said, yeah, I have infinite of it. No gold is a skill issue. You best prepare because you'll be experiencing a skill issue very soon. Because, the update, the bazaar, one of the best ways to get gold, completely done. Completely done, one of the best ways to get gold. And then he's just like, nah, not really, I'm not like you. And I don't understand how far people agree with this comment, because I'm sorry, this is going to affect hardcore players, casual players, average players. It's going to affect every player. The bazaar change, every single one of them. Think of it like this: a new player goes into Wizard101. They need to get a mount because they're first starting off. They can't use the bazaar. They can't farm Hellfang. They can't get empowers. They can't do any of that. They can't do Blackberry Jellyfish anymore because that's completely gone. What can they do? How do you get a mount when you're a new player? That's just for new players. You want to go hatch a pet. Let's say you're a hardcore player. You want to hatch a new pet. You want to do a new pet. You're maybe like you're a little bit more solo oriented. Maybe you don't know that many people. Maybe you want to make a super specific pet. Maybe you want to make a super specific pet in this game that not many people have. And so you look in the kiosk. You find one that's relatively like it. It costs 100,000 gold to hatch with. How do you get that gold? How do you get that gold? Let's say you have no gold. How do you get it? If someone wants to answer that, sure. Quick selling is not viable. Quick selling is not viable. You don't get that much gold at a quick sell. You get most of the gold from the bazaar, from pet snacks, from like Shantas and killer tomatoes. You get most of the gold from empowers. You get most of the gold from Hellfang. That's what you get the gold out of. All of that is effectively gone from this update. And there are people actually saying that thinking that they'll be fine because they're fine right now. They'll be fine in the future. No, you won't. Unless things change, no, you will not. Okay. This person's just like, don't feel too bad about the maze. They're saying there's a reason they released it to test realm. However, when this update is released and I have the chance to play it, I'll have words with you if you've misrepresented anything. Assuming they didn't make any changes. And then the only thing I may have misrepresented a little bit is Selenopolis, and that's just because of change of opinion. Like, people can have different opinions than me. I understand that. But yeah. Pet making for raids is almost impossible unless you're in a Discord with people that would give you a lens. Exactly. Most people use the kiosk. I don't think people realize that. The kiosk is actually a very popular feature in the game. It is. It's used by a lot of people. And I don't think people realize that this update will completely ruin that for a lot of people. Who cares about levels? You get tons of lore and interactions between characters, new traps, blades. Also goated for raiding, 10 out of 10 all around. And again, this comment, it's like, if you like more, and you don't like quality, then sure, this is your update. But it's just like this. I don't know why we have to quest through Selenopolis to actually do Arc 5. I don't really understand that. I like the lore. I do like the story. I think it's great. I just wish it was side. I wish it was a side thing that you could do. It feels like a side thing, honestly. And until the very end, which I did watch the end. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, it's generally it feels like a side until the very end of the update. And even the end of the update could still be side. Alright, and then new traps, blades, which are good. I do actually like the new traps and blades. I think they are good, but that's it. Like, from the spell fusion system, that's it. That's good from it. It's like kind of stupid. Alright, I'm just gonna say this. I love this update. I didn't really like the bazaar update, but who knows? Maybe King's Isle will help us find other ways to get gold. It's really one thing I don't like. Selenopolis is beautiful. The Raven Proctopia is beautiful. From what I remember, oh, but there's actually comments to this one that I didn't go through. I think the story is alright, but it sucks that it's mandatory when there's no in-game incentive. Is the new spells not an in-game incentive? Again, the new spells that you get, if you're talking about the like Mark of Shu or Hecat's Strike or whatever, those are from the first hour of questing. The videos I did with Firestarter right now, actually in the first video that we did, we could have gotten the spells. We could have gotten the spells like right then and there. It's within the first hour. That's not incentive. It's literally right when the update releases, right when you actually play through Selenopolis. It's instantaneous. And for the Magic Reaver spells or the Spell Fusion, that's side. That's separate to Selenopolis. I'm talking about the quest line of Selenopolis. I'm not talking about the area. I am talking about the quest line. I mean, like the story, and there was the spell quest, so I think that's good enough reason to play through it. I like the story and there were spell quests, so I'm pretty sure that's reason to play through it. Again, there's not reason to play through all of it. They're right at the beginning. You wouldn't say Wallaroo is you get your spells at the end of Wallaroo, you get your spells at the beginning of Wallaroo. It's the same thing with this. You get your spells right at the beginning. Once you get your spells, why would I play through it? There's no incentive. Okay. I really like the story, and if you like the story, that's your opinion. I mean, I like the story too, but I think that you need more justification to actually play through an update. And I used Drizzleheim as an example. Drizzleheim is a great example. It's a side world. It's not even optional. But with Drizzleheim, not only do you get new spells, you get XP. I'm including Winter Tusk, by the way. You get great XP. You get spells. You get a great story. You get new gear. You get a lot out of Drizzleheim. You get a lot, and that's a side world. This is a main world. This is a main world, and you get nothing out of it. Nothing. I don't know what to tell you, man. If the numbers are going up, or the only thing that's a you problem. Again, it's not even just that. It's that it should just be side. It should be optional. I'm not saying that it needs to have something. I'm saying either it needs to be optional or it needs to have something. It's not just like one thing. It's not just like I'm saying, oh, there needs to be new year. Just if you don't want to do new year, okay, just make it optional. It's as simple as that. And then I say it's not even about number. It's not even about nightmare gear. Blah 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 blah. I don't even have it. I don't even have nightmare gear. I use Aeon gear in game because I don't want to farm it. I don't care about the numbers that much. I just think that there should be more incentive if it's main content. It should be more incentive. Clearly, you're one of those people that spam spacebar and rush into boss fights. I don't even want to bring up the videos I did with Firestarter because I literally listened to the story. I don't understand people. I really don't. I don't understand that these are the arguments people are making. It's genuinely making me lose my mind because some of their arguments are just so bad. Like, if you don't know what this is an ad hom. It's like when you're losing an argument, you attack. You just say, "Oh, you're probably one of those people" or whatever. It's just ad hom. It's nothing, like actually nothing that's relevant to anything. But it's just such a dumb argument to make, I guess. The new final boss is a lot easier than Nightmare, to be honest. The one in Selenopolis, and I understand that that's fine, right? It's probably is a lot easier, and it's probably easier to get that gear, and that's great. I'm glad that it is. But what I'm saying is, I think that there should be more incentive beyond just that gear, especially because a lot of people have had that gear for a year. I know I haven't. If anything, I should be saying there is incentive because I don't even have that gear, and if that fight is easier, then that's easier for me to get the gear, right? If anything, I should be saying that, but I'm not. I don't even have the gear, and I'm saying this. A lot of people that have the gear have a reason not to do it. Yeah, bro, I was tripping. I was in fights watching the timer go down because you were listening to dialogue. Exactly. I was literally listening to dialogue throughout the entire playthrough. I love the story of Wiz. I literally interviewed the freaking writer of Wiz and Pirate. I literally interviewed him. I love the story of both games. I listened to the dialogue. Every single world update, I always listen to the dialogue. Always. It's one of my favorite aspects of Wiz. If anything, if there was no story, I don't think I would be playing Wiz. I really don't. So just saying I spam spacebar and rush into fights is just crazy. Okay. Now let's get to this comment. Selenopolis is beautiful. Rape and Protopia is beautiful. From what I remember, you need to quest in Selenopolis to continue into the next arc. I didn't quest the entirety because it's been bugged. This update has amazing potential. I do agree, it has potential. They just need to fix a few things. Not perfect, but great. 8.5 out of 10 for me because the Bazaar update has got to go. And I said Selenopolis I can live with as long as there's reason to quest through it. Besides, just going to the next arc. Hopefully they'll add more incentives to quest there. Why are you yapping so hard about that update? It's because I want to see the game do better, and I want to see the game actually get out of the state that currently it's in. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but I will continue to yap as long as it means that we actually get good updates. If yapping means Kinzile and Wizard101 gets better, I'll yap all day. Well, you get spellments for your... Is there any update to the Astral Scrolls in this update? So now this is Moon themed outro. I'm pretty sure there's new Astral spells. I'm pretty sure. I know there was like an updated brace that was teased from Blaze Lifehammer. So that's good. That's another good thing. I do actually like the new Astral spells a lot. I think those are really good. I'm yet to see them. I want to really check those out. I don't actually know how you get them currently. I don't actually know if they're actually in the update because I haven't even seen them. But if I'm excited to see those at least and see them. I think those are another positive about the update too. The new Astral spells. I just don't really know that much about them. I just haven't really seen them in test jump much, and I don't even know where they are, to be honest. But yeah. Well, you get spell elements for your new spell. There's cantrip chests everywhere. Again, cantrip chests aren't a reason to quest. You can unlock cantrip chests without questing. That you can collect for your new spell. Is that an incentive for you? Also, the new spell, again, I said you get it right at the beginning. There's an entire world after you get your new spell. Also, about the new gear, it provides an alternative for people that don't want to farm Nightmare Dungeon anymore, which, again, that's fine, right? Why don't you add 2 new gear sets? Why don't you add the Nightmare gear, and you add an alternative gear along with it? An alternative gear set along with it. I think that would be fine. I think that would be great. You can get the new reagents from bosses in Selenopolis. I think that's a pretty good incentive for me. And again, maybe it's good incentive for you. Maybe it's good incentive for... Maybe you think it's good incentive, but I don't think it's generally for most players it's good enough incentive to be justified in being main content. I think it should be side content. And then this person's just like, this is a good update, weirdo. And it's like, if you like not having gold and not being able to train pets, then I'm sure this is a great update. It's just like, yep. And then you have womp womp, and it's like, yeah, womp womp. Next time you got to make a pet and can't because you can't get gold. It's just like, yep. And then you have just womp womp, and it's like, yeah, womp womp. Next time you got to make a pet and can't because you can't get gold. It's just like, yep. And then you have just womp womp, and it's like, yeah, womp womp. Next time you got to make a pet and can't because you can't get gold. Well, you get spell elements Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have less gold just because something sells for less. That's the reason we need gold bank. And it's just like I don't understand some of the takes for this. It's like hatching costs a ton of gold. It costs a ton, and I don't understand why people are saying it. Give me 1 sec here. I'll be right back. My girlfriend just walked in, y'all, so that's why I had to mute for a second. Okay, so where was I? Um, yeah, I don't think we're gonna have less gold. You're gonna have less gold no matter what. You're gonna have less gold no matter what. I'm sorry if you can't see that. Then I don't understand. There's not much I can tell you. Just wait till the update comes to live, I guess, or just play it in test drum and try to get gold. That's all I can tell you. The game isn't in an awful position. Have you seen the player count? It has flaws, but it definitely isn't as bad as you're making. Do I need to show you the PvP queue right now? Do I need to go on Wiz and show you the PvP queue? Do I need to show you that? Do I need to show you the realms list right now? There's like what, one full realm usually, two full realms maybe. I'm sorry, that argument doesn't make any sense. The game is not in a amazing state. I wouldn't say it's dying, but I wouldn't say it's in an amazing state right now. I wouldn't say it's in a good state. I wouldn't say it's like terrible. I want to see it be better. Yellow, that's a ridiculous comment. The point being made about the bazaar is that people who actually need gold have very few ways to get it now. Exactly. Exactly. I don't understand. Right. And what's worse is that Kinzel is actually going to look at my video and they're going to see all these comments and think that, oh yeah, people disagree. We should actually go along with the update as it is right now. That's the worst thing. It's like it's not going to get any better because people just don't understand. People are just taking it for granted. They will understand in a month. I will tell you that much. There will be plenty of videos on this in a month. I'm just the first one to make a video, so of course I get all the hate, but it's fine. I'd rather be the first than be the last, I guess. I don't get why people aren't mad about Empower. I always buy Empower when I reach match gold. There's alternatives, but they might become just as low cost to sell. And yeah, that's another thing. Like Empowers are gonna be pretty much worthless. And that's a trading system. People use that to get membership. People will trade Empowers for membership and trade Empowers for packs and stuff. And that's just completely gone now. Just realized I missed opportunity. Remember Eclipse Tower and Chrysalis? You learned that connection between the moon and shadows was there. Continued another comment. It represents a huge step forward for us as the wizard expands our options in combat. Yeah, I agree. I agree that it's like the whole magic even thing is like a step forward. Like generally, like I like it. I would be lying if I didn't say that I liked it in concept. I do. I think magic weaving is an amazing concept. I think dual scrolling is an amazing concept. I just don't think it's executed that well. I think there are things that need to be better. I think that things need to change, and if things don't change, maybe people don't realize it right now, but in a few months from now, when you're trying to make a pet and you're wanting to get into the magic even system and you have to grind so much for it, people will start to realize, oh hey, maybe this update wasn't so good. Maybe instead of having to wait another month for the patch that comes out, maybe I should have said something in test realm. Maybe something should have been said in test realm so that they can fix it right away. But yeah. And then Lauren said, from what I understand, I believe that you technically learn 2 spells. You can learn 1 utility and 1 fusion recipe, in which to get the fusion card, you combine the 2 cards while in a fight. While I doubt the fusion spells have any practical purpose outside of PvP, I think the utility can be both useful in PvE and raid, as long as they are basically pre-enchanted stackable buffs. However, everything else I would agree with you on. There is no reason to do the world outside of it being mandatory. The gear is just... Oh, sorry. The gear is just equivalent to the Reaver gear, and jewels are basically equivalent to the Wallower jewels with a slight difference. And yeah, I agree. I agree that maybe in raiding there might be some practicality. And I don't do raids that much, so I wouldn't really know the most about raiding, but I will say that a very small minority of people in the community do raids. I made a video a while ago, is Wizard101 anti-casual, and I addressed that very few people do raids, so I will say having updates that are only for raiding is not the best, but generally maybe there might be some practicality in the spell fusion for raiding, and maybe some for PvP. I talked to Liam about it. Liam said there was only 4 viable spells in PvP. 4. There are 42 new spells, and only 4 of them may actually see play in PvP, which is just crazy to me. But yeah. So it's just a shame Selenopolis doesn't offer an expansion on the concept to offer more improved shadow spells with plenty of lore surrounding how you get them. And yeah, I think that'd be cool too. I think shadow spells are actually something that needs to be revamped. Changeout really just needs to focus on the features that are already in the game. Like shadow spells or shadow pips and spells are basically useless in PvE right now. They basically gutted them after they added they nerfed the spells with the spell audit and whatnot, and they nerfed how you get shadow pips. Yeah, I said that because you were saying that we only get 1 spell in the video. Yeah, I saying that we only get 1 spell is a little bit disingenuous. I meant 1 hidden spell. That's what I meant. I know it was like maybe a little bit misleading. You do get more than 1 spell. Like you get the dual blades, or you get like depending on your school, dual aura or dual trap, etc. But I think in terms of for hidden spells, you only get 1. That's correct. Yeah. Lauren, Tear Socket Myth Trap is going to be goated for 5th for Fire and Myth for real. And I'm sure, like, yeah, there's probably going to be some really good spells, but there needs to be some changes to how it works right now. I'm also old Wiz from 5 years ago. I would recommend Adam, if you're watching, to watch my Wizard101 then versus now video, or I don't know, but yeah. I can't speak on the spell fusion mechanic, but the bazaar change is actually horrible. Making the game a lot less grindy across the board is not a good change. A lot more grindy, is not a good change. If they want to get rid of the black magic, just nerf the spell price of Empower and other TCs that may replace it. It would suck to get rid of being able to give money to players, but at least it wouldn't prevent all other forms of independently making money from the bazaar. That's also true. If they want to get rid of Empowers, which I think is stupid to get rid of Empowers, but even if they wanted to, they didn't have to completely gut the bazaar entirely. Just give me more shadow summons. It's such a cool mechanic, but it's awful that they have to be built up for 1 to 2 damage. I agree. Shadow summons definitely need a rework, and I hope that they do rework that in a future update. I think that's a good point. And same with the mutate system, because now mutate is more dead than it's ever been, because why would you ever use mutate, right? Because mutate's just... And honestly, to be fair, though, I do think the spell fusion is just the same as mutate, honestly. It's pretty much the same in a lot of ways, but yeah. It's another cool mechanic on paper locked behind a grind fest. So you use crown spending through it or to buy spells that are better. Every time they do something like this, I just have to ask if they play their own game, because who thinks fighting bosses for half an hour for 1 spell is fun? They have repeatedly done something like this. Moon spells, core concept, but missed the mark. Sad thing is easy fix would be to keep your stats but gain 40% damage or healing buff depending on the scroll. That'd be a good way to fix it. Again, a lot of these are they have all these systems and they haven't done anything with it. Like moon spells, this update was literally such a good opportunity for them to actually update moon spells, and they didn't even do it. You were literally going to a moon area, Selenopolis, where we have manders that literally that change their form, and the main villain is a moon dude, is the Moon King. He's the main villain. And yet we don't have any change to polymorphs or any updates to that. Monstrology is pretty much useless except for like some niche strats that people do for summon TCs, which I think is pretty cool. GW2 Caleb, who is a content creator, made several videos on just like doing like fights, like Malister versus Old Cobb or whatever, and I thought that was pretty fun. But yeah, and then spell fusion again. I think spell fusion won't be used that much. I genuinely don't. I think spell fusion is a feature that should be looked into for sure, and definitely needs some changing. Still better than the Pyro update, which I don't know, maybe. There are things that are better than Pirate, yeah, and there are things that are worse. At least for Crocotopia, there was actually incentive to do it because they added in gear. Even though the gear may have sucked in Croc for Pirate, it's at least something. But yeah, there are better things obviously about this update than Pirate for sure. I agree with everything except level cap increase. They've said they wouldn't increase it all year, so I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it either. I was just expecting there to actually be more incentive than just questing. That's it. That's what I was expecting. Or at least it would be side. That's what I think. But yeah. Oh, we got a comment from 7 minutes ago. I think the higher level cap, the less new players will want to play, because knowing you have to be level 170 plus times is a lot of time choosing from level on through. But it's not like okay, that's, I don't understand that, because the higher level cap doesn't, like, raising the level cap doesn't mean that more people are going to be like, I don't want to play. It's actually more likely that people are going to be like, I have to do 8 hours of content and I don't get anything out of it. I think more people would be like that. I don't think going from level 170 to level 180 is the problem. I think it's the problem is that you have 8 hours of content in Selenopolis and you don't get anything out of it. I think that's the problem. That's what's going to make people not want to play. The only thing about magic weaving, and I get that Wizard101 is a grind. It's a lot. It's a long game, right? But I don't think that Selenopolis or changing the level cap to level 180 is going to make it so less people play. I think making the level cap 170 and you still have to do this 8 hours of content to actually do the next world after is going to make people not want to play. But yeah. The only thing about magic weaving that I think will be good is the dual pierce jewels, but that's literally it. Yeah, I think those are cool. I think that there are also some spells that will actually be good. I've pushed the balance spells, the balance and storm spells. You would get a balance blade instead of just like a balance blade. I wish you would get like a universal blade. I think that would be awesome, but it might be a little bit broken. I can see why it would be broken, because you would be basically getting a 70% blade buff. But yeah. The dual pierce jewels will save me backpacks for sure. Yeah, because I know you have to keep changing your jewels whenever you want a dual stool and whatever, and it's kind of annoying. So yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that they did. I don't know if there's anything that requires actual dual strolling. Yeah, I don't know. They're not going to raise the level cap no matter what. They're not doing it this year. I just don't really get the point. I know. It's like his argument is that they shouldn't raise the level cap because they said they weren't raising the level cap. Like, I guess. I don't know. It's just not really that good of an argument. A lot of these people don't really have, some people have like good points. Like about my stuff on Selenopolis and me saying, oh, it's a chore, right? Some people are like, oh, I like the story, and like, that's to each their own, right? That's your opinion. I obviously I like the story too, but I think there needs to be more. If you don't think there needs to be more, if you find the enjoyment out of the story, right, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Major flaw is no new rewards for completing the new side content. All the other stuff is just filler, throwing shit at the wall, hoping it sticks. This update, like every other update, will be released with a lot of bugs. This being a major update, I'm definitely guessing there'll be many bugs. We'll probably still this update. There's a lot of bugs in test realm. Hopefully there won't be as many bugs in live realm. I hope not. Yeah, there's quite a few bugs in test. One of the quests you can't even do. I believe they fixed it though with a patch yesterday, so that's good. I'm glad that they fixed it. But a lot of the updates that you can't even do. A lot of them. And I know you can't even do Spell Fusion right now. Spell Fusion isn't even working on test realm right now. I know that's one, but I'm sure they'll have that fixed before it goes to live. I'm really glad I'm done with all my pets. Unfortunately, I'm not, but it's honestly, I don't really care that I'm not. I care for the people that play the game more than me, that want to have their pets done and they can't because of this update. Or I care for about new players where they're trying to make a pet for the first time and they can't because they can't get gold, and they're trying to get a mount but they can't because they can't get gold, or they're trying to afford the red barn farm but they can't because they can't get gold. And there's just so many things that I'm worried about for new players in this update. It's just unbelievable. People say like the crack graphics are to benefit the new players. Well, what's really going to hurt the new players is the bazaar change, because the bazaar change actually is the gameplay. The crack graphics is just the aesthetic. I mean, you can like the story, but are you going to like questing through it 6 times? Exactly. There is an appeal for life to dual scroll in the myth to shield break. Pretty niche spell, though. Yeah, I'm not really sure like what the best weaving scroll is going to be for every scroll. That's something that we'll have to figure out as the update releases. But yeah, they'll probably be... I imagine life and myth is probably the best. Life and myth has always been a really good combo in terms of dual scrolling. I love this. Like, I love the story. Chrysalis is my favorite world, but Selenopolis is just kind of boring. I agree. Selenopolis is very boring, in my opinion. The story is decent. I like the story, especially towards the end, because I did watch the end of Selenopolis. I won't spoil anything, but I do really like the end of Selenopolis. I think it's a really good way to set up into Arc 5, but just the world itself and questing, a lot of the story is pretty boring, and a lot of the areas are so boring too. Selenopolis should have been the pirate update. It basically was because they updated, they did Kraken Pirate and Kraken Wiz, which was kind of funny. You're exaggerating. Cracked out a texture revamp and looks incredible. Wizard City is now free. 7 cool new spells you get in Selenopolis. Mono fusions are sick. The spell animations are sick. 42 different quest lines where you need boss battles for each school you weave into. We also don't get a level cap increase between arts. They did this after Chrysalis and Imperia. I agree with. I know that they did this. I've said that before in videos that I knew we weren't getting a level cap increase. My point is not that there should be a level cap increase. My point is that either make it so that there's new gear, or make it so that there's side content, or if they want to, make it so that there's level cap increase. They have 3 options there. Just do one of those 3 and that's fine. I agree the spell weaving fusions are underwhelming, but credit where credit is due. I'm also glad we don't have to grind for gear this year. You're right, you have to grind for your new spells. That's what you have to grind for. You have to grind for your new magic weaving spells. That's what you gotta do if you want them. You also have to grind through Selenopolis for 8 hours when you get nothing out of it. I'm sorry, but I would rather grind for gear than grind for nothing, besides just to get from point A to point B. I wish we could get our own scroll spells. Yeah, it's not even that I wish I could learn every single storm spell. I don't even want that. It's that I wish that I could learn the storm and weaving scroll spell. So, for example, if I am a storm weaving into death, I learn Grimzilla, and I also learn Joltergeist. If I am a storm weaving into fire, I learn that whatever it's called, the fire lagoon, whatever spell, lagoony spell, and I also learn the I think it's Thunderbird. I think they gave us for storm for fire. I don't remember exactly, or Storm Elephant maybe. I think it was Storm Elephant, right? I wish that I would also be able to learn that. It's that I wish I could learn at least one storm spell. At least one. I think that's the bare minimum. Give us at least one new spell for our school. I think that's fine. After seeing how Pirate 101 treated Marleybone and Mushu, I was pretty excited to see how KI would reimagine Croctopia. Shame how that turned out. Yeah. I think that for the most part, Croctopia, like the graphics are good. I just don't like the Selenopolis story and stuff. Or not story, the Selenopolis questline. Right, WTF, you can only use one spell when you weave. I was so excited for like Reskin Medusa and Balance Stormlord that I was going to use for fun. But no, it's just for PvP players like OMG. I genuinely hate when the devs focus on 0.5% of players who do PvP and fix things that aren't broken just to break the game even more. No, break the game more. Like, at this point, no game I play is fun anymore. I generally agree. I was excited when they first teased the Grimzilla or whatever. I was so excited. I was so excited about this update. And then they did the dev stream, and I wanted to make a video about it before the update released. I wanted to do it before rather than after. I just didn't really have time, and they were teasing new stuff left and right, and I wanted to include everything. So that's why this video came out a little bit late. But I had problems the moment they did that dev stream about spell fusion. The moment they did that dev stream, I had problems with it. And I knew I was going to have problems with it. But yeah. Why does balance get no effing balance damage play? That's my biggest problem. I think in this update they actually do. But it's like 1 pip. So I mean, it's like, if you're okay with that. But yeah, I think they do actually get a balance damage blade in this update. But yeah, overall, like generally, for most of questing, you weren't able to get one for most of Wiz, but now you actually can. I'm pretty sure you can get it at level 52, which is pretty good. I agree. I have no intention of using or trying to get these spells. I only use 7 to 20 spells in the entire game. Well, yeah, but that's just the combat loop. I don't have a problem with them trying to change the combat loop. I have a problem with them trying to change the combat. I have a problem with them trying to add this new system, but you can only actually get like barely anything, and it's not even viable. Like maybe in the future they'll make it viable, but that doesn't justify it right now. There needs to be some sort of justification for it right now. Disappointed this spell fusion shit is high level, dual scroll technically, begins in Giant Spire, I believe, because you can get dual scrolled year. This is so ridiculous. You should be able to fuse spells by the start of Arc 2 at the latest. And I agree. I agree that it should be at the end of Arc 2. And I'm pretty sure it is. Like, it's level 50, I'm pretty sure, so yeah. No clue, but I don't know how to go to the tree things if you can't go to I don't know those. If you can't go to something else, I haven't played this one. You have to talk to you have to talk to Merle, I believe, is the first thing you have to do. The amount of ignorance and chaos shilling in this comment section is awful and scary as the fact that we have incompetent, greedy, out of touch with the player-based devs. I wouldn't say they're incompetent, greedy. I wouldn't say that the devs are that. I wouldn't go that far. I would just say that they made a mistake and they need to fix it. That's what I would say, and they need to look into spell fusion and such and make it better. But I wouldn't say they're incompetent or greedy. But I do agree there's a lot of chaos shilling and a lot of glazing in this comment section. That green name didn't get removed for talking bad. That's a no-no. Okay, I'm gonna be mad. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'll criticize the game because I want it to be better. Like, if they want to remove the extra credits badge, sure. Wasn't saying not to. I was talking about how much the devs are children and get fussy on the community wants to have fun. And like a lot of the stuff about the devs, like I don't really think the devs are like children, or the devs are fussy or whatever, or the devs are like bad people or whatever. I don't think that's the case. I just think that they made a bad update, or they didn't make a bad update. I think that they made a net bad update, a net negative update, and they need to fix it before it goes to live, and then it'll be actually a pretty decent update. Wondering how many boss cheats will be broken by the negative aura for death from death that might become the standard Weaving Scroll for PvE. Oh yeah, they said that they would try not to do that. They would try not to have it break boss cheats, but they might. It might actually. You're right. But disappointed that the gear isn't really new. Again, yeah, that's another thing. No new gear. You don't get much out of this update. You really don't, and it's just unfortunate. Like, you don't get much out of Selenopolis. It's just, it looks like there's a lot on the surface. It looks like there's a lot you get, but you don't really get that much. So if the fusion mechanic works like you said it does, and you haven't given me any reason yet to distrust you, then I am baffled as to why you are limited on how many you can learn. I thought it would just be like they would let you learn whatever you wanted as long as you have trainer points. As for comments in Selenopolis, I'm not really sure how to take criticism as I haven't experienced it. I appreciate this person for actually acknowledging they haven't played Test Realm. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people in the comment section that I'm 99% sure they have not played Test Realm, and they're commenting on the video saying I'm wrong when they haven't even played it. This person at least says, I don't know how, I don't really know, I haven't played Test Realm. I appreciate that a lot. I do. But as you described it, I don't really think I would mind the challenges you mentioned. And sure, maybe you don't mind it. But I think it's not really a challenge. I think it's more of just a tedious quest. The labor stuff is tedious. The quests you have to do for the magic weaving spells are very tedious. That's what I generally think. We'll just see how it goes. Honestly, if they are going to change the bazaar the way they have, then they ought to keep the sell prices fixed, then simply demote the price in the bazaar as the vendors receive more items. I think that would be a happy medium. Maybe. I don't know. I just think it should stay the same. I just don't really understand why they have to change it. Just make empowers cost less if they want to really do that, even though I don't really think that they should. I remember having an opinion in America once as of 2024. Everyone is woke and ignores the facts of opinions. We have, I think a right winger here that's trying to politicize this, which is kind of funny. But I think I just was like, got so many comments on how bad the video is, blah, blah, blah. I just tried to shift it about not being about politics, because I don't really like to talk about politics on YouTube, even though, I don't know if you can see by my recommended videos, I am very into politics. I just don't really like talking about it that much on YouTube, because honestly, I don't know why people would care about my political opinions, because I'm a Wizard101 YouTuber. So yeah, now we're going to talk about the dev stream that King Sal did. They did a stream where they addressed some of the concerns about the update. Bro tried to be political about Wiz. I know. It was funny. It made me laugh. Pluto is woke. Yes, I am a woke person. I am MAGA and woke and all of the buzzwords. Communist, fascist, whatever. I'm all of them. Okay, so let's just go to this paste bin thing right here. I really like that Amoplex does this. Shout out to Amoplex for doing these summary things. Okay. Oh god. Hopefully this. Oh, am I gonna get ads everywhere? Oh god. Okay. So the dev said, someone said, why not let us train our own dual spells? And then they said it's a display presentation issue. If there's a spell that looks like a fire spell, fire thinks, hey, why can't I train it? But it's actually an ice spell. So basically, what the argument is here is that Grimzilla isn't actually supposed to be a death spell; it's supposed to be a storm spell. And if that's the case, and let's say, for example, Joltergeist, I keep using this example, mostly because those are the only two spells I can remember the names of because they're all very new. Joltergeist, which is the Storm spell, but it's a Red Ghost version for Storm. It's like a Red Ghost spell for Storm. If that's supposed to be a Death spell, why can't I learn it? If it's dual schooling, why can't I learn both Storm and Death? That doesn't make much sense. If it's just because, like, if it's just supposed to be a Storm spell that does Death damage, right, then why can't I learn a Death spell that does Storm damage? That doesn't make much sense, does it? I don't think that makes much sense. I think that would be fine. Obviously, you shouldn't be able to learn spells like Life and Ice or whatever. You should obviously be some limitations to fusion, but I think that you should be able to at least learn one of your own spells that do your damage. Then why does it require mastery? Exactly. That's actually, Lauren, you brought up that's an amazing point. Amazing point. Why does it require mastery? That's another thing I didn't really get into. That's another thing. Why do these require mastery? If there are spells, why? That's such a good point, Lauren. That really good point. They're reviewing the price scaling table for the bazaar after the negative reaction to changes. Raising the size of the stacks was to help buyers. Nobody was concerned about the size of the stacks. That was a non-issue. That was not even a problem. So I don't know why. The only reason they could have changed that is because they wanted to get rid of empowers. It's the only reason. If there's a lot of things, then you can buy them for cheaper. It was not targeted. Again, like, the bazaar isn't really that expensive in the first place, so I don't know why they needed to do that. But whatever. It was not targeted. It was just a consequence of changing the stack limits. Not as controversial as you've been led to believe. Oh my god. This just tells me that they're not going to do anything. They're saying it's not as controversial. That just tells me they're not doing anything about it. That just tells me that they don't care. That they're like, oh yeah, that's this way or the highway, and they don't understand that it's not because of the bazaar itself. It's because of things outside of the bazaar. The hatchmaking kiosk still costs 100,000 gold. It's the Red Barn Farm costs a lot of gold. Mounts that you can buy for gold costs a lot of gold. There's things outside of the bazaar that aren't scaled with the bazaar that changing how you can get gold in this game has consequences for, but I don't know how they can't put that together. But yeah, I guess they're not gonna it says they're gonna review the price scaling table, but that's basically just a big word for probably them saying they're not gonna do much about it, and they're just gonna like deal with it. They added a fifth task, which is just team up, which is fine. The fifth labor task for the spell weaving, which is fine. I still think it's a freaking pain to do it, but whatever. Honestly, well, auction jobs. I think a lot of these are like monstrology. I mean, I don't know who's saying like, oh, why isn't there monstrology in this update? Like, come on, dude. They're responding to stuff that people aren't even really talking about, but okay. Joe's main concern with the black market is how it hurts players. It results in scamming. He wants scammers not to be able to take advantage of players. The reason they don't have a player economy in the first place is they don't want children getting scammed. Rapid is happy to provide that context. He talked to Joel just today, that Joel's angle on it. Artie would prefer they officially do a market to safeguard from scams, but it would be part of the design goals. I agree with Artie. I think if you want to do an official market, the trading market, I think that's a lot better. I think that's a lot better than what they're doing right now. I think Artie generally, that's very good on him. You should do an actual market, trading market. Make it so we can trade reagents to other players. Make it so we can trade gear that's not auctionable to other players. Make it so we can just trade everything. If we needed to do monstrology to magic weave, I might kill myself. We already have to do fishing. I know, it's freaking ridiculous. Oh, I didn't get to read your message, Basement Troll. I'm sorry. I was gonna read it. You retracted it, so I don't know if I was gonna read it though. So, but yeah, you can just pay money for a trade instead of trading in powers. Sounds like making that the only way to trade will increase the amount of scammers playing the prayers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want patch on powers, and yeah, that's true. That's another thing. Yeah, people do it for membership. There's a method you can do in game right now where you don't ever have to pay. Okay, I am going to get out of pay spin. We just got this. I'm getting out of pay spin. There is a method to get empowers in the or to get membership in the game where you just basically have 7 or 8 character slots, and you have everyone have 69 plots, and you can just have a method of gardening them every day where you would have enough powers to never have to pay for membership again through damage training posts. Also, if you scam in GTP, you get banned for life. They don't fuck around with that shit. Exactly. You can't scam. You cannot scam in that server. You will be banned. So I don't know why people are like, I like that. I don't know why people think that that's a thing that just happens. I don't know. And it's saying about like they don't want children to be scammed. First of all, I don't think children are on Gamma's trading posts. Second of all, the majority of the Wiz community aren't even children. They're adults. They're adults. Like, a lot of people played when they were kids, but most people aren't kids. Most people aren't kids. The Bazaar Street Crash is coming. Sell all your empowers, guys. That's what I said, but misspelled empower. Oh no, you're good. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's the stock market crash. It's ironic because it's October 26th. It's 3 days away from the day the actual stock market crashed in the United States. From I think it's Black Tuesday or whatever. I'm not worried about GTP. I'm worried about the people who don't know about it. That's true. That's another thing that's true. Yeah, it's just bad for gold. It's definitely sell while you can. Sell before, and even like sell things like Killer Tomatoes. Like if you have empowers, even if like it sells for like 800, sell it. Because once Test Drum hits live, it will be even worse. So yeah, I would say sell while you can. Yeah, Killer Tomatoes and Shanta puddings and whatever are bad too. But yeah, if anyone has anything else they'd like to say, I'm gonna refresh the video to see if there's any new comments that I missed. I'm just gonna refresh and see what people have been saying. If there's been any new, because I heard that some people commented. We're gonna go newest first. Okay, so I already responded to this one, so it looks like there's not that many new comments, I don't think. I did see one comment that I wanted to reply to. I'm not sure if it's on I'm not sure if it's on. I'm not sure where it was on. It was on. I don't know if it was on the video or if it was on something else. But someone basically said like some like really mean stuff that I saw, and I was like, wow, that's just crazy. I would stretch your arguments a little more neatly to have mentioned some positive, tolerable parts of the update. Yeah, I agree. This was a good point. I should have presented my argument better. I agree with that. I do. I think this stream I definitely did probably present my argument better than I did in the video, but yeah. Was it in this video? No, it wasn't. Where was it? I'm trying to remember. I saw it on. Here, let me find it. Let me find it on my phone because I think I screenshotted it. Let's see. Maybe they deleted it. I don't know. I don't think they would. I don't know. I must have missed it. It was basically a comment saying that I'm a horrible person. I'm desperate. I'm just Yeah, someone said I was Karen. I mean, okay, I guess I'm a Karen for wanting the game to be better. Okay, I'll speak to the manager of Wiz. Um, but it was a comment that was like, you don't get any views, your channel's irrelevant, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, okay. I mean, if you think that, then thanks for the engagement, man. It just helps me. But yeah, I can't really find it, but it was a comment that I saw this morning, which actually made me want to stream a little bit. But yeah, I'm probably gonna find it after stream and maybe post a community post about it. I don't know. But yeah, y'all. I'm gonna probably end the stream there. Um, you said weaving isn't in the Sun Apples quest line. Yeah, no, it isn't. It's separate. It's separate. It's you start at level 50, right? What Lauren said. Yeah, you start at level 50. Brett writing the script right now. You making a video fire starter? Definitely post it in my Discord once you make it. Post it in a you can I'm pretty sure you're mod on my Discord, so if you want to add everyone, just I want the community to see that the update isn't all sunshine and rainbows like some people have let on. Also, I'm gonna mod you Firestarter on my channel. What's the difference? Managing moderator can block to I'm just gonna do standard mod. You're a mod now, Firestarter. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you're a mod on my Discord as well. So I might as well just have you mod on YouTube chat as well. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed me going through the comments. I hope I was able to clear the air on some of my points. I appreciate everyone for stopping by and hearing me out. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video on talking about the update itself. I will be doing more videos with Firestarter doing the new the quest line of Zelenopolis. I have another. I have one that I have to edit. A couple of videos that I have to edit for that, and then I think on Monday maybe or not maybe not Monday because I think I might be busy Monday, but another day me and Firestarter are gonna play through some. I was gotta ban Lauren because she stole a pod late in a CSR. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, everyone. I appreciate everyone that did stick in the stream for a while. But yeah, expect new videos soon. I might take a minute break, a little bit of a break. Probably no new videos this weekend. Just expect videos next week, I suppose, maybe. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you all in the next video or stream. Take care, everyone.